Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Spoiler Alerts. So, we got a bit excitable at the start of this episode, and we accidentally put a fairly major spoiler about the previous episode during the intro. So, if you haven't watched episode 57 yet, and you want to, and you care about spoilers, and I warn you that it is a big spoiler, stop listening now, go back and listen to episode 57. If you've just started the podcast, hey! You've come in at an interesting place. If you want to jump to the start of what, broadly speaking, is the previous chapter, I would say start at episode 53 to lead into episode 57. If you don't want to listen to the whole thing. Obviously, if you want to listen to the whole thing, you do that. All right. You've had your warning. Let's get on with the show. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Jason Phelps, and I am joined as ever by Robbie Ding Dong Bellekom, Sam the Witch Burns, and Ellie is dead Sparrow. Spoilers for the previous episode.
Every few hours we just message each other like, Olga's dead.
Anytime anything's been a bit rubbish this week, it's like, well, but, you know, Olga's dead.
Yeah. Oh, I hope you didn't listen to this episode before the last one by mistake.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed you didn't do that.
Maybe we put a spoiler warning at the very top of this episode.
Maybe we should. Maybe we do a spoiler warning, like, immediately. Yeah. Yep, spoiler warning for this one.
Spoilers for this episode. So, speaking of spoilers, it's time for us to cast our minds forwards and ask future us what messages from the present. It's Future Jason with messages from the present. For once, we have a surprisingly quiet week ahead. You can listen up for a spot from our friends at Chasm Quest during the break this episode. Other than that, I've decided to take the rest of this hypothetical future day off and go for an imaginary drink by the non-existent pool. I'm leaving the work to you, so back to you, past Jason. Hopefully it doesn't. Well, it's definitely in copyright, but hopefully fudging it up. No, I can swear on this podcast. Day job. Hopefully fucking it up enough by making the Fatlings sing it will allow us to. It's copyright.
It seems oddly fitting that the Fatlings would be singing it.
Will we get away with that? Probably.
I think we're
something like 6 seconds.
It's like that was like
I
5
think it's like
seconds.
6 seconds.
We're solidly into fair use time. I wouldn't.
Cool.
worry.
Oh yeah.
I think we're fine. So scared of the copyright people because if they sue us, we won't win.
Yes.
We'll just have to take it down and put it up without that section.
Yeah. We'll just say at this point, we sang previously Ding Dong the Witch is dead, but they asked us to take it down, so we did.
Yes.
Oh, so that's what you're hearing.
Yeah.
Also, as a note today, I am ill. My voice does not work. It sounds like paper bags being stamped on. But I really wanted to play D&D, so we're doing it. So enjoy huskier than usual Celestia today. Just thought I'd throw out there that my vocal cords have not been trampled. I am just ill, and it will not sound as nice as it usually does. But otherwise, we don't get to play for ages.
And we want to play.
Who wants to play? All right. Speaking.
Weirdly creepy when you say like that.
To play.
I feel like I should be wearing like a leopard print jacket.
Oh, no.
Just for
Oh,
everybody
God.
listening, when Robbie did the impression of that, she sort of like rammed her thigh into mine amorously.
It was
hot.
unintentional.
Speaking of playing, it's time for
Wait.
Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains, brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs. After many months, having travelled across an entire continent, from their earliest beginnings, shortly after meeting in Scarrel's Cove, their first encounter in Paider's March, then again in Werrick's Watch, finally here in the forest of Bois Noir, at the abandoned lair of Grandmother Fingersnap, Olga Gristlegums has been slain. That chapter has come to its end. But as the sun grows low in the sky,
Oh no. The sun's going down.
on the
Fucking
13th
braces,
of
just
First
remembered.
Shoots, 1798, a new chapter begins, or rather the continuation of one already opened, as the party have now bade their farewells for now to Clara Off, Olga's erstwhile apprentice, and now the inheritor perhaps of a number of her secrets. Clara has set out to tread her own path, free from the chains of pain and anger that Olga would have laid around her. After swearing her love for the party and naming them family, she also swore that one day she would return. But as Clara walks away down the long corridor and up into the forest, the four of you, Celestia, Scamp, Corzin, and Leah, find yourselves looking back down at the smoking, bullet-strewn mass of shattered, formerly animated evil furniture. There's a certain amount of smoke that has come about as a result of setting fire to said furniture, with multiple gunshots and a certain amount of firebolts. And as a result, Celestia, you've got quite a bit of smoke that is just you've accidentally inhaled quite a lot of smoke, and it's making your throat a little bit difficult.
Not sure I'd be the best singer right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a bit croaky.
Ugh.
Here's the smoke. Ugh. Also, maybe it's just knackered, you know?
It's been a bit of a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say that.
She's dead!
Just a bit.
Yes.
She's dead. She's actually dead.
Look at her being dead over there.
I don't know.
You look over at the headless corpse.
Has it moved?
No.
Okay.
We should burn it.
We should
Yeah.
burn it.
We didn't burn it, did we? We should do that.
There's
I
a
will-
lot of things we should do.
I will go and deal with that.
You drag Olga's remains up to the surface and begin the process of building a small pyre. While the three of you while Corzin does this, the three of you sort of take a moment. Leah sags against the wall.
You okay, darling?
It's just a lot, you know?
Yep.
I'm free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew.
Don't have to be stuck with me now.
I'm gonna follow you everywhere.
Scamp, as you turn around and give that baleful look in your eye, roll a D100.
Oh, I
Oh,
hate you
God.
so much. Why would you do that?
Discharge that
fireball
tides
Leah.
from last
Oh
time.
my god, don't fireball Leah, please.
Oh well,
34.
I've just rolled two of the same type of D10,
Yeah,
so
that doesn't count.
doesn't work
Yeah.
because I
She
just
rolled
rolled.
60-30. So
Well, I think I rolled
Yeah.
30-60. So, So that's a 99.
Oh god, that sounds bad.
You feel a sudden rush of power as you regain all your expended sorcery points.
Oh, I feel
Oh.
great.
Why do you feel great?
Does
No
the idea
idea.
of following me everywhere make you feel that nice?
Apparently! Ah!
Okay, so this is just Scamp being Scamp.
I think this might is this just adrenaline? Have you just gone
I'm
weird
fine.
now? Okay, I've gone weird.
I'm gonna go make a magic circle.
Okay, darling.
I'm gonna go cast Detect Magic really slowly.
Okay. You begin so you begin scratching the ground. Leah kind of coughs and sneezes. She takes the little handkerchief that you got her.
Oh, you remembered it this time, did you?
Yes. She looks down. Oh dear, my snot is actually black. There's that much smoke
Lovely.
around
I
here.
click my fingers and do prestidigitation to clean a handkerchief.
Oh, the snot floats in the air and then plumps to the ground.
Oh, it looks worse in midair, doesn't it?
Does a little, doesn't it?
I did mean it though. You don't have to come around with us if you don't want to now.
I know.
It's okay if not.
Celestia. I'm not sure how to put this. I like you. I love you. I love the three of you. And I don't want to leave your lives. Mm-hmm. But your lives are crazy.
Yeah, they're fucking horrifying.
In the time I have been travelling with you, how many times have we nearly gotten killed?
I'm not sure I can count that high right now. I'm really tired.
I'm going to travel with you a while longer. I'm not just going to run off now, but when we get to a place where I can, I'm probably going to...
Go back to the ship and, be a surgeon.
I need to look after my crew.
It's okay.
And... that's... I think that is okay.
Yes, it's fine. That's why I said it. I didn't want you to feel bad.
I'm not running away from you either.
Okay.
Because the thing is, for all that we have constantly been near death, repeatedly, it's been good. You know, we've made a difference.
Yeah, I think we have.
And I want to keep making a difference, but I also need to be making a difference back there as well.
Hey, for you, that's on Briggs's ship. That's okay. You know I'll miss you, but I don't know. I wanted to have a chat so you knew it was all right.
And I wanted to have a chat so that you know that I'll come back.
Well, we'll be back.
You'll come to me.
We'll be on Briggs's ship again.
I just want you to know that we're still friends.
Good.
You know, I would do this again.
Really?
Well, I mean, she looks towards the end of the hallway, and you can start to hear the first crackling of flames starting. Actually, no. By this point, it's still you can just hear Corzin dragging logs, which he's presumably cut down or found to form a pyre. I mean, I don't know about that bit, but
Yeah.
travelling.
You'd
With
still
you.
come around with my stupid drunk ass.
Yeah.
Thanks. Well, I'm glad to have undone the mistake of tying you to something else.
She looks down for a
And
moment.
I'm sorry it happened in the first place. I didn't know what I was doing.
She
I know
looks
that's not an excuse, but it wasn't on purpose at all.
She looks back up. I know, and I understood that some time ago, and it's okay. You were trying to protect me.
Yeah. It all came from trying to find you.
Thank you for finding me. Can't say I was happy about it at the time.
You didn't really need finding, but...
No, but I needed to see you again.
Oh.
I didn't think I did.
I didn't think you did either. I really thought about not finding you. Just leaving you to it. I thought that might be better, but... Olga.
Plus, you know, I'd probably have been chewed up by a... what are they called? Chul?
Yeah, true.
So,
True.
you know, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah. This is weird, isn't it?
It's
This is
so
really
weird.
I
I
don't know what
feel
to
so
do.
weird. Do you want a hug?
Oh, would that be really weird?
I
if we
don't
hugged?
know.
No idea. Oh, come here, you fucker.
She hugs you.
Ooh. Thank you. I'm gonna let go now because this feels strange.
Okay.
But
Okay.
thank you for putting up with me being a fucking idiot most of the time for ages, and being there for me when I'm in absolute mess. And listening to my shit. So I don't deserve it, and it's thank you. I'm like not looking at her.
Just be Celestia Stardust.
She alright with you?
Yeah, she is. Someone I wouldn't mind, you know, having, you know, maybe, I don't know, what was it we said, starting a coffee shop and a little place to perform.
Sounds nice, but eons away.
Well, it's a couple of 100 years till the end of the world. We could probably get some time in between,
Yeah, okay.
you know.
I mean,
Otherwise-
hey, it's like a few more years. We've set it back by like, what, 8 years? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. 8 or 10, I can't remember.
Right. 9? I think 9. I think it's in the middle of between
9
there.
in the middle, yeah. Well, you know, do that a few hundred more times.
Times. Might make it to our old age.
Would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I can't imagine everything being normal.
I remember normal.
I don't.
I'd like to say it's overrated. It has its upsides. But you live the life you have. You make the best of it.
Yeah. I suppose. Oh, it's
Well-
really hard and weird.
I'm not going anywhere yet, unless you've got a way to, you know, magically transport.
I'm not kicking you out.
Yeah.
I'm not good at this sort of thing, but I felt like it was a chat that we should have.
Thanks.
No, thank you.
Do you think we should help Corzin drag logs or something?
Probably needs some sort of help, doesn't he? He's
Yeah.
quite small.
By the time you get up there, Corzin has already gotten most of the wood together.
Oh, well, you look fine.
He's getting out the what would it be, flint and steel? Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
I can do better than that.
Scamp's like, ah.
Be my guest.
How big a fire do you want?
Huge.
Big as you like.
Burner. Burn the
Everyone
fucker.
stand back.
And I will move some sorcery points into
Oh, wow.
a spell.
Okay, Corzin is standing
stand
well
back,
the fuck back.
and then
No,
you realise,
a little bit
further
I
back.
stand back and then stand back more.
Corzin is standing behind Scamp.
Actually, I'm going to take a few steps back.
And then I will...
Would anyone like to say anything on this solemn occasion?
Fuck you!
Fuck you, you stupid, horrible bitch!
And I will
Ah.
cast Fireball.
Well, that was
The-
overkill.
You pieces of Olga splatter and cinder in every direction, and the parts that don't are immediately caught in the centre of the now roaring flames of the pyre.
Having sex is great, but have you ever watched a bitch that's been following you for months burn?
I've never had sex.
Sorry, of course you haven't.
I tend to agree with that sentiment, but do you think maybe we should go and just get some of the bits that have gone everywhere now? I don't like the idea of anything remaining of this woman.
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
That's really disgusting, but cool. Oh, there's a hand over there. Hang on.
Leah has just sort of quietly gone red in the face, hasn't really said much.
Yeah.
I look up at Leo and go,
Oh, there's an ankle, I'll just...
said that without thinking. No, right. Where? Oh, a foot. I'm going to go get that.
I've got magic vision. I'm going to go use this before it goes away. You're all
Okay.
weird.
So you're basically just taking a look round everything, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so as the others are busy enjoying the merry campfire flames of Olga's flaming corpse, you begin searching around. Okay, so
I'm just going to look for glowing things rather than like properly searching.
yeah,
I'm
just
gonna
doing a quick
walk the whole
search around.
building.
All right, so
I sing a song entitled "The Bitch Is Dead."
sing song. The bitch is dead.
Yeah.
Cheers.
basically.
Which old bitch? That wicked bitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
All right, so things that are on fire, not on fire. Things that glow up. Things that are on fire. Olga.
Most of the surrounding countryside at this
I
point.
just said a meme.
Several
It's like a
nearby
Regency
trees.
Character. You can't say a meme as a Regency character, can you? Fuck it, I've done it.
All right. So within the vault, you do get a the old chains, which are now mercifully still, do have a soft glow around them still,
Magic thing!
which
I just
is
point at everything and shout magic
just
thing
a
when I see
straight
it's
up
magic.
transmutation glow. Next to it, we have. Just see. Okay, so going backwards. Nothing in the library that hasn't already appeared. Nothing in the scrying chamber. There is a trace amount of magic on the complex circle in the chamber with the complex magical circle on it. It does not match the circles you've seen before elsewhere.
That was the scrying spot,
Yes.
wasn't
No, it was just next to the sighing spot. This one is full of conjuration magic
Ooh.
of some sort.
Well, this is creepy. Magic thing.
Next up, you have. Let's see. Oh yes, there was the vestry full of the various knickknacks and such. Searching through, I'd like you to just roll me a d20.
Oof. 9.
Okay, nothing in the vestry that comes up magical for you. In fact, I'm actually going to do this as long. Okay, you peer down the well. You have... Is it 30 feet or 60 feet to detect magic vision?
Ooh, good question. Detect magic is 30 feet.
Okay. The well, as I stated previously, goes down, I think, about 60 feet or so, if not a little bit further. I think I actually stated well quite a bit more than that because of the low water table.
I think you said the water was 60 feet down.
The water starts 60 feet down.
I just proofed that episode, so... Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, you would need to clamber down the now still form of the vines, of the vine beast, if you wish to look any deeper down the well. But nothing shows up just looking down at the top
I want
30
to,
feet.
because Scamp down the well seems like the stupidest idea. I want to do
Okay,
that.
give me an athletics check to climb down the well.
Well, that's a 0.
Wow.
I
What?
rolled a 1.
There is a sort of... No one else is around. There's just a snap and...
Oops. Oh god, everyone else is still outside.
Okay, so the damage is halved for falling distance because you've fallen into water. So we're working on partial Hollywood rules, but not full Hollywood rules here. So you take 8, 15, 21 half to 10 points of bludgeoning damage as you smack into the water and plunge down below. The good news is you do actually see something flash up down
Yes,
below.
I'm still concentrating.
It is contained.
Impressive.
Yes. As you kind of blink around, you've actually fallen a good 15 feet further down into the water, and you can just make out the bottom of the well. Another 20 feet down, and hidden amongst the tangles, you can see there is some sort of gently glowing to your vision bottle of some sort, still sealed, despite the
I'm
time.
gonna try and grab it.
Okay, you swim on down and try and grab it. It's a little bit stuck in place. Give me an athletics check to pull it out.
Well, I literally can't roll worse than last time, so
You can roll the same.
that's a 3.
Oh my god.
Okay. Roll me just a straight luck check.
That's a 1.
Oh, mate.
Oh, wow.
As you try and pull on it, you accidentally catch the cork
Oops.
and
Oh, no.
unplug the bottle. Immediately, thick black oil, far more than you'd expect could be contained in such a bottle, at least it seems to have been under some high degree of pressure, begins spilling out and flooding the water, cloying, and it actually spreads with terrifying with a supernatural degree
God, what have
of
you done?
spreading as the jar of super lube begins spread.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
What? Of what? Sorry.
The jar of excuse me what?
The jar of super lubricant immediately flows in every direction, and well, it starts coating you. But the thing about magical lubricant is that it will try to get into any open surface, any open space it can get to, including your mouth. So please roll a Constitution saving throw as it
Will be
tries.
shut underwater.
Yes. It has a certain amount of force to try and get up your nostrils as
Oh,
well.
Super
con save.
grim.
And is going to... so con save to avoid accidentally inhaling any of the super lube.
13.
13. That's enough. You managed to keep your mouth and nostrils
save.
closed and struggle your way back up to the surface.
I'm rolling so bad.
I mean, hell, at least
The
it's
highest
today
I've
and not
rolled is
last
a
time.
9.
The water is now fouled and thick with oil. And you are absolutely covered in the stuff.
We're all outside watching the fire.
To try and
Sing song the bitches
So
did.
we're gonna do a couple of these, and if you can't make it out in 3, I think 3 is traditionally the number of attempts. You've kind of already flubbed one of them, so 2 attempts. Otherwise, you're kind of stuck down here.
Until someone finds
Can you please make a? Until someone finds it. Can you please make an athletics check with disadvantage as you are covered in lubricant?
Or, let me just have a look at how many... I got all my sorcery points back, didn't I?
True.
How many did I spend to get a 3rd level spell?
And can you just do
Font of
this instead?
Magic costs 5. because of my skulls, I've got loads. I will get a fly spell back.
Okay.
And I will fly out.
You just cast your magic and fly up out. Okay, you are as you land on the ground, you slip, and it's only the flight spell that stops you going onto your back. You are absolutely covered in oily blackish brown superlube. There's a rainbow sheen
God.
to you.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride, everyone,
It
by
is
the way.
Pride today,
Yeah,
so
we recorded this at London Pride. Everyone's wearing rainbows.
Rainbows!
So,
Yay.
okay, well, that's that magic item gone.
I'm gonna just fly around. Oh, that means the detect magic's gone because it was concentration. I'm gonna go find Celestia.
Oh,
I'll have to recast.
yeah. You
I'm
return.
outside.
I'm flying.
You return outside. Scamp flies down up
Celestia!
What
tunnel.
the fuck did you do? Why are you covered in shit?
I fell in a well.
That's not what you usually find in
You
a well.
fell in a well?
And then I found a bottle, and then I accidentally opened the bottle.
What is it? I poke it.
Your finger immediately slides off it,
Fucking
and
hell.
as it touches your finger, it starts to spread down your finger.
Well, I
Not
do press
it-
digitation and click it off.
It flicks away. As it hits the ground, it spreads across the grass until it's evenly distributed.
Well, that's super disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay, let me help you out. You're a fool. How did you do this? What is wrong with you? I just keep this up while I'm cleaning you off.
Sprays of super lube just emerge.
How do you fuck up this badly?
As they land on the ground again, they start spreading to cover
What was
every
that even
available
doing down a
surface.
well?
It was a little bottle, and I tried to pull it out, and the cork came out.
Of course you did. I
Why
mean,
did you go down a well when there was no one there? What if you drowned, you knob?
Valid points. I'm gonna recast my spell. And then
And you're not going to go down any more fucking wells without anyone there.
No
I think I'll
promises.
go with you this time.
Yeah, maybe let's go with you because clearly you're nuts today. So let's not leave you on your own. Olga's dead. Olga's dead. I just shout it at random. Oh, she is dead, isn't she? Look at her burning. Oh,
I will recast detect magic.
oh, I want to have a look in the altar.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll do that on the way.
So, as you head back down into the ruined vault, you find what you spotted was the hidden panel at the
Check
back
the
of the altar.
traps.
Make an investigation
Yes.
check, please.
Will somebody help me?
Yep.
Fantastic. Oh, that's good. That's a 23.
You do not find any traps, nor do you find a lock. In fact, it looks like it's designed to be pressed in and pushed aside.
Sorry, smoke.
And in fact, you do just
I
that.
press it.
And inside, you can see there is a small black iron egg, about the size of a duck's egg.
Oh.
It doesn't look like any kind of egg we've seen before, does it?
It looks like the egg you saw in the vision.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it opens, doesn't it?
Yeah, you pick it up.
Pick it up and open it.
As you click open the top, there is a tiny amount of flickering, multicolored flame.
Magic thing.
And yeah, it shines up. So this shines up blindingly powerfully in your eyes. And it's of an undefinable sort of magic. Yes.
We know what it is, though, don't we?
You know
From
what
the
this
vision.
is. This is Phoenix Dam.
I'm going to say the rainbow spirit, kind of like Aladdin carpet style, rears its head up and like cocks its head like it's a puppy and like looks at it. And then just like sends a tendril out and touches it.
A flash of flames follows up the spirit. It pulls back, but that flare continues to ripple and run down it. The ambivalent octopus similarly pads over. Reaches out, touches a bit of it. Again, there's a crackle of power that jets up it. The flames only dip down a tiny bit each time.
I want to touch it.
Okay. As you reach close, it feels at once hot. As you get your finger close, it feels at once hot, and cold. Do you actually touch it?
Yeah.
Okay, you reach in. Roll me a dexterity saving throw, please.
I know this is dumb, but I want to do it. Oh, it's a good dex save, though. That is... an... Oh my god, I can't add up today, guys. I'm sorry. 23.
Okay, you therefore
No,
manage to
25.
pull
oh my
your
god,
finger
maths.
away before it does too much damage to you. And so so instead of taking 22 points of radiant damage, it's halved to 11 as you pull your finger away as the flames try and consume it. You kind of wave
I have
them
no idea
out.
how many hit points I had last time I leveled up. Does it matter?
I'll say that you guys have had essentially a short rest.
Cool, I've rolled some hit dice.
Yeah.
Awesome. I just realised that I did that not thinking about the fact that we were going to do the rest of the day.
Yeah, there's some burn marks on the end of your finger.
Ow. That was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, I thought that was dumb and I just fell down a well.
No, I just... don't know, it looks weird.
Close it up and put it in your bag. It's powerful.
Yeah, it's powerful and I a little bit understand it.
Good. Good.
Well, maybe we should take that to somebody who's better versed in this sort of thing.
No, I think I get it.
There is a strange sort of resonance you feel now that you've touched it. Something seem, and you looking up, the pride spirit is now sort of rippling with just small, every now and again, just little flicks of multicolored flame.
Okay, that scares me.
Okay.
Just gonna close that.
You seal the egg shut.
Don't feel like I should understand this, but I feel like I do a little bit.
I know that feeling. Like sometimes you gotta steal a diamond ring. And then you can do stuff with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have this, if that's alright. Because I feel... It makes sense, and I don't know why, and I hate it, and I'm scared, but it makes sense, so I feel like I should have it.
I get it. On that note,
Fair enough.
I need a whole bunch of jewels.
Okay, you just need some jewels.
Yeah.
Oh, there was the murder necklace, wasn't there?
We should kill the murder
The one that
necklace.
tried to strangle you.
Yeah.
You hurled that, I believe, into a corner of the workshop.
We put a bucket on it.
And you put a bucket on it.
We put
yes.
a bucket on it and walked off. So I put the little egg full of phoenix down in my bag.
Okay. The egg, by the way, is perfectly just a cool below room temperature.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's just the temperature you would expect iron to be. All right. It is also black iron. It's not rusted in any way.
Cool.
And the egg itself does seem to show up as lightly magical to you,
Magic egg.
Scamp. So
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
there's a light abjuration effect on it. So you head back up and continue scouring the rest of the lair. So just check for these last two. Oh, okay, right. So you get 3 more results searching.
Magic thing.
at
Magic thing. Magic
the
thing.
with magic sight. The first is under the bucket.
Yeah, we knew that
The
one.
second is the, I believe, two remaining swords in the armory. One you picked up and it came to life and tried to stab you and break it. There is another one which comes with a soft sort of transmutation-ish aura to it, and another one with what appears to be some sort of enchantment aura to it.
Well, those are magic too, but
Uh,
I can't guarantee they won't try to kill you.
Yeah, I'm fine where I am, thanks.
And there is one last thing. It's actually just in one corner of the main atrium area. It is. It's a curious little thing. It has been discarded into one corner. You wouldn't actually have noticed it necessarily, but you do. Because it's actually been covered. It's been covered up by dust just from time and partially hidden in a pile of mouse droppings. So it blends in. It looks just like a little grey rock, but it shows up in your mage site as having a... I'm trying to think what kind of aura this would be. Let me just check. Yeah, I think this would be an evocation aura. And as you kind of brush aside the mouse droppings and knock the dust off it, you find that there is another of those little bright blue pearls of the type of the same type as the one you got in the married giant clamshell. So yes, if consumed, this will restore a 3rd level spell slot.
Celestia!
Yes, darling.
Present for you.
Oh.
You might want to wash it. It was in some mouse poo.
Oh, and you do put that in your mouth, don't
Yeah.
you? Yeah. I'm going to click my fingers and clean the mouse poo off it.
Yeah, a little spray of mouse shit and dust.
Oh, I'd
Puffs
still
off
want to
it.
use water.
I'll also wash it with water.
You get the water from your water skin and just...
Well, thank you. Are you sure you don't want it?
Yeah, I can get spells back.
No, I can't do that. I'm very jealous.
I have to
Thank
give
you.
stuff up, but I can move stuff around.
Fantastic.
But yes, and of course there is finally on the and yes, as mentioned, hidden underneath the what's it called? Under the bucket is the murder necklace, which is I believe I said it was a silver necklace with a pendant of peridot. There, you would looking at it with you're starting to get a practiced eye at this point. You'd say that the peridot in the centre is probably worth about 90. But you reckon a collector like Gunter might pay as much as 90 gold crowns for the peridot.
That's
on
worth
top.
it if we can get it out.
Yeah.
How about the two of you hold it down? Actually,
How about we
I'll
shoot
hold it down.
No, don't touch it.
you try and prise the thing out.
Or we stand back and just shoot it.
That could be a fun idea.
Do we think we can get it, do enough damage to the thing without breaking the jewel? Or do we need...
Does the jewels need to be whole?
No.
Because you want them for spells, don't you?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to break it anyway.
Alright.
I mean, fuck it. Should we just chuck some stuff at it?
Yeah, stand back. Like with the furniture.
Yeah.
So, what method of destruction do you wish to use on this
Firebolt.
peridot? So you're going to firebolt it.
I'm tempted to smack it with my electric guitar just for comedy, but that would also be stupid. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to smack it with my electric guitar.
Okay, so are you both doing it this one after the other at
Same
once
time.
or
Same time.
Okay, both of you roll an
Corzin, do you
attack
want to do
roll,
anything?
please.
Of course, it's just going to stay out the way of
It's
this
just
one.
like, nah.
Yeah.
Oh, now you roll, alright. 25.
23.
Roll damage, both of you, please.
Our proficiency bonuses have gone up.
Yes.
One of those is on the floor.
Oh, 5.
That's a 6.
The one on the
Okay.
floor was better.
Together, you the firebolt goes in momentarily before the peridot begins glowing with a little bit of red heat, and then the guitar comes down as well. So you know that scene in The Lord of the Rings where Gimli tries and shatter the One Ring with his axe?
Yeah.
With his
Oh,
hammer?
yeah.
That doesn't happen. As the guitar goes down, there is a and the peridot just splinters into dozens of tiny shards.
Ooh, I picked them all up.
That was quite satisfying.
Yeah, the silvery part of the necklace kind of limply struggles a bit under the bucket and then goes still.
You feel better for that?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
You sweep up 90 gold pieces of peridot shards.
Cool.
I mean, possibly its value has been decreased, but for the purposes of this spell,
Yeah.
What do
have
you need
90.
for the spell?
Chalk and jewels.
You have chalk.
So I will combine them. Gold peridot shards. Cool.
I really want to touch the swords. Just saying.
If they try and kill you, I'll watch and laugh.
Cool.
I'm going to go touch a sword.
Okay. Would you like to touch the left sword or the right sword?
The one that was enchantment first.
So that would be the right sword.
Okay.
Okay.
Cecily's going to light up a pipe while this is happening.
So it's an old Tyrian sort of gladius or short sword, like a stabbing sword. So you're gonna. So how do you touch it?
Back of my hand.
Okay, you tap it with the back of your hand. It kind of rattles for a moment in the ancient little weapons rack. You look up and down. It's quite shiny. Both of the swords are quite shiny. It looks like a really nice, solid steel sword. Huh. Roll a wisdom save.
I'm
Very
so
good.
good at these. Oh, 19.
It's a really nice sword. Suspiciously nice. Something about it makes you... Something about how nice a sword it is makes you feel uncomfortable.
Can I cast Identify?
I
Very
believe
slowly.
you need to touch it when it's done. Let me just check the wording for it.
You must touch throughout.
Yeah. So
Am I going to be making wisdom saves every time? Every 6 seconds?
I'll ask you for one more wisdom save if you want to do it. If you want to try touching it.
I think the wisdom save before was high enough that I'm at least going to ask Corzin what the...
Corzin, you said
Yeah?
one of the swords was weird before. Weird how?
Well, one of them tried to come to life and stab me, but I'm thinking probably what you're actually referring to is the fact that, well, all the other swords that were here had rusted away to nothing, but these remained.
Didn't you think it was really good or something? Because this one feels really good, like weirdly good.
I don't suppose, well, if this has anything to do with Olga, I wouldn't put it past her to just enchant something so it seemed like you thought it was the best sword in the world, but actually it was just rubbish.
Okay.
I think it's going to bite your face off when you pick it up.
I mean, that's a little bit more direct in her style, but...
No, I think it'll make you think it's good. So it'll, be like, oh, come and touch me. Then when you do, bite your face off.
Okay. I'm going to touch the other one now.
Okay. As you touch the other one, it immediately pulls itself out of the rack and attempts to stab you.
Come on!
So very quick initiative. Rolls, please.
11.
That's a 1.
Natural 1, but lucky.
Okay.
10.
Just smoking.
She's just sitting smoking in the corner. She's not going to stop smoking if she does help.
Okay. So sorry, that was 11 from
Scamp.
and Corzin.
10.
10 from Corzin.
Yeah, Celestia doesn't move when this happens.
Okay.
For 1.
All right, and just for the sake of it, is Leah around? Yes, she is. Okay. So yeah, the sword goes first.
Of course it does.
And shanks downwards at you, Scamp. So I'm pretty sure that that may or may not hit. One moment. Actually no, that's only a 13. It's
Aha! Mage armor's still
it
up.
stabs down at you, but you pull out the side. And it just grazes your skin, but deflects. It just stays in front of you, continuing to try to kill you. Scamp, you're up next.
I will cast Shocking Grasp.
Okay.
Oh, that'll hit. That's a 26.
Roll damage.
Yes.
10.
Okay.
10 lightning.
The sword crackles with lightning and slightly bends in a couple of places. Still tries to
And
continues
I
trying
will
to stab
move
you.
away from it.
But yeah, you pull away. Corzin, you're up next.
Alright, I'm just going to try and smack it out of the air with my own sword.
Go for it. Roll an attack.
Ooh, that's a 26.
That hits. Roll damage.
Okay. Nice. Okay, that's 12 slashing.
You bat it into the corner where it smacks against the rack and snaps in half.
Pong!
And it's dead.
That's
Celestia
quite
just
enough of that,
hasn't
shall we?
moved. Like at all. Told you.
Well, what have we learned?
Don't give me that. You're the one that fucking touched it.
The enchanted items in a place that was once owned by Olga Gristlegums are hostile. Who'd have thought?
I, for one, am shocked and appalled. I take another drag of my pipe.
So, what we're saying is I should touch the last sword.
I'm still not helping you. I'm still going to stand here if you do. I'm not going to stop you, but I'm also not going to help if you die. I'm just going to watch.
Right,
Kick
Corzin
you
is
as
going
you
to
go
stand,
down.
like, ready with... Actually, he's going to put his sword away and have one of his pistols just trained on it.
Okay.
You know what? Maybe I'll learn a lesson and not touch it.
I will remind you, by the way, you recovered from Olga herself a scroll case with 2 scrolls in a language you do not recognise, and 2 potions you have not identified.
Let's go get some fresh air and I'll have a look at the things we found on Olga.
That's probably a good idea.
As you head out, actually out the front this time, the sun is setting in the distance, and Leah suggests maybe we should make up a fire, have some dinner or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we probably should.
Yeah. Are you guys eating from your rations, or have you just been sort of, hunting and so on?
I guess a bit of both.
Yeah.
Tonight I think rations, let's stick together.
Yeah, probably
I don't
rations.
think we go into the forest.
Okay. So, as night...
Oh yeah, night's
Yeah.
falling.
As
Yeah.
night draws in...
Oh dear.
Should we go in one of the sort of ruins? There's ruins around, aren't there?
yeah, there are a number of ruined old structures, and you're able to find something with... very few of them have roof left, but there is some that provide a bit more shelter and cover. And you set up your tents there. Yes, actually. Corzin, can I have you roll me a survival check? Just because I want to know just for a sense of what the quality of food you're having is like.
Okie dokie. That is a 9.
9, okay. It's not been good eating. You do have a bit of wood pigeon left from the prior day, which you're having with some, which you're kind of making up with some of your dried rations. So you kind of so Leah you guys have a little cooking set with you, and Leah sets up with a campfire a bit of the little frying pan. You have a bit of oil that you carry with you as part of your rations, and has just been frying up strips of wood pigeon and a little bit of basically just biscuits.
Well, it's not elk.
sauerkraut.
I mean, it could be elk.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's never eat elk ever again.
No.
I don't think
Not
I've ever
high
actually
on my
had
list
elk.
of things.
Don't have elk. How long was it we lived on it? Like a month?
It was close to
Too
it.
long.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
about 2 solid weeks, which is 2/3 of a month.
Yeah, nearly a month of just elk, nothing else.
I'm gonna look at these things now, and I'll cast Identify over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay,
We also had to
cool.
remind you when it was dark, but up to you.
Yeah,
how
no,
you
no,
wanna
I'm
do
about
that
to
in
talk
what
about
order.
that.
Cool.
So, I'll do you first, Scamp. Scamp, you do look at the bits and pieces you've got. So first of all, the potions. the first potion, it's an amber potion. It's a little bit darker than what you're used to, and you do actually, and it's pretty much what you expected, as you do identify it as a greater potion of healing.
Ooh.
Was that actually? Sorry, no. It's not a greater potion of healing. It is a superior potion of healing,
Oh,
which
fit.
does 8d4 plus 8 points of healing.
That's so good.
Nice.
If I was going to have one healing potion, it was going to be that. Didn't get a chance
fair.
to use it. The second potion is a sort of pinkish potion with a strong effervescence to it. And it takes you a bit of time, but you realise this is a potion that will convey the power of flight.
Ooh.
Without concentration.
Without concentration.
Ooh.
Now,
Useful.
the 2 scrolls are in a language that none of you can read, but you are able to get a sense of what they are, and they can be. You can sort of fake the use of them the way you can other magical scrolls, Scamp, and you're reasonably sure the others that Celestia might be able to get her spirit to jiggery pokery with them. They appear to allow the user to create illusions similar to those Celestia can.
Oh, like
These
major
are
image
2
ones.
scrolls of major image.
Oh, fit.
Makes sense why Olga would have something like that.
Fuck yeah.
The scrolls themselves are pretty damn old, but Identify doesn't give you that information on how old.
And if I did comprehend language, it wouldn't tell me what the language was, so that wouldn't help either.
I don't think it does.
It just means I get the meaning of it.
Yeah. Which you kind of have from this already.
Yeah.
So,
Do you want one of these?
Yeah, alright. Could
Just-
Corzin not use it? I would guess not.
I think it needs to be someone. It can only be used by a class that would already have it on the spell list.
Fair, yeah.
Right,
Yeah, I'll have
okay.
one. Great, that's an extra one.
So, as you dig into the wood pigeon,
I'm gonna cast Alarm as well.
yeah, you set it straight out the string. It's not badly done, wood pigeon, all said and done. But Celestia, you're kind of already a bit full. Like, roll a wisdom check.
Oh god, I'm a fucking vampire, guys. Oh, that's pretty good though, actually. That's a 17.
Okay.
Yeah, 17.
Yeah, you get as you eat it, like it still tastes pretty good. Like, you can taste that it is all right, but it's not satisfying and particularly satisfying food. And strangely, even after eating your whole portion of wood pigeon strips and rations, you don't feel any fuller than you were before. However, there are no negative effects. Ask me again tomorrow night.
I don't say anything, I keep that to myself.
Yeah.
Oh, it's if I don't use it, I'm going to be fucked, aren't I?
Well, I'm worried that you're just going to not eat and waste away.
Oh, yeah.
What if it's not actually nourishing you? What if you can't get it? Oh no.
This is all pretty creepy,
There's
isn't
so many
Bad
bad
thoughts.
options.
Bad thoughts.
it? Mm.
So, do you have anything you wish to
Would I tell
discuss, or do you wish to bed in for the night?
What are we doing in the morning?
I mean, we've got to start going to Vondion, haven't we?
Yeah.
How would we like to get there?
Oh, I don't know. Map. Who's got a map?
Map.
So, you draw out
got
your
the
map. There you go.
Thank you. Sam, do you have a map?
Yeah, hold on.
Perfect. We can get you one if you don't have one.
I think if it's just a map of the countryside, I can bring
Yeah,
one up.
It's just a
on my
map of
computer.
Seoul.
Right, yep, cool.
Yeah, cool. So we are in the middle of the woods. Well, we're on the sort of lefty bit of the woods. We need to get to Vondion.
So there's a lot of forest and hills in the way.
Uh-huh.
You indeed. Looking at your routes, you immediately see two options that come to your eyes. One route would take you directly through the forest, either going cutting just straight south across forest and trying to make your way to the hills of Calcinea.
As ever, listeners, maps will be on the social medias and in the description, just in case anyone's new.
And then heading across to... Sorry, I'm going to get my own map up, so I have this for me. And then heading across to Ventplier. From there, you would then be able to make your way directly to Vendion. That whole journey would take about a little over 12 days. Mm-hmm. Alternately, you could go eastward to the town of Sombra, travel down the river either to Planchette, where you could then take the roads, or go around a little bit upstream to Quamse, on the south edge of the woods, where you'd again cross through Calcinea, around the edges of the hills, to Vendeplier and to Vendion. Both of those routes would allow you to approach Vendion from the back, avoiding the active front north and east of Vendion. Going via the road, or going off, taking the boat to Planchette and then going around, by the way, that route would take 14 and a half days, would require you to either go back to Treachery or just across the river north out of the woods, or to Sombra, and then around the woods on the roads. Now, going on the road, you're able to use your horses, because you can't use horses in the woods. The terrain is just too rough for you to do so. So that actually would end up being a much shorter ride. Then you would go to Planchette or Terreville, and then southward to Vendion. That journey would take 9.5 days, but you would be crossing an active front.
So that would be going out of the woods and round, basically.
Yes.
Can't go back to Treachery.
Oh no, we really can't.
We
go back
really
to
can't
Treachery,
go back
can
to
we?
Treachery.
Because they'll know you.
I think I might have upset someone there.
Yeah, you upset the watch captain. We can't go back there.
Do you remember in Destin's house, he had a big old circle on the floor?
Yeah.
And it was like
Yes.
the one we saw in that temple in the woods full of undead.
Yes.
I think I get how it works now.
What do you mean? What's it for?
Moving around. I think I can go there.
To that circle?
Yes.
That's hundreds of miles away.
Yes, it'll take about a minute.
What?
I mean...
Excuse me, it's been a long day.
You
Am
know-
I understanding this right?
You know how I can vanish and then reappear somewhere else?
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
I can do it much further distances if I've got something to tie to it, like that circle.
So you could take us... You take us to Kion. Just like, poof.
Is
I
We're
mean,
in
it-
Kion now.
300 miles away as the screech flies.
Yeah, like I said, it would take a minute.
It would take
That's-
a minute.
I mean, that's amazing if you can do it, but wasn't that in a sealed vault?
Yeah, but we know how to get out of that vault.
I mean, true, but what my point was is that it was sealed against most forms of magical intrusion as well as non-magical. If you think you can do it, then by all means, try.
No,
I mean, would it... Okay,
that's the point.
saying you can do this, which weirdly I believe you because you've been able to do everything else that you said you wanted to do. Saying you can, would this be quicker? Because
Yes and no.
You look at the map. Judging the distance, it's about 200 miles from Caen to Vendion, but it's a straight stretch. It's all road, which can be ridden with horses. And because of your magical frigging horses, you can achieve a speed of 80 miles a day via magic horse. So you could do it in about 2.5 days.
Is Kion behind the lines?
But it will mean crossing the lines.
We'd have to go over the the front.
Hang on. The same front where my brother is, darling.
Yeah, that
I was
front.
thinking that Terra Champ, wasn't it?
It's pushed south of Terrachamp, you recall as well.
Yeah,
actually.
Terrachamp, Terraceville. They said bridges. Could be by the river at this point. I think we'd have to cross it to get to Vendion.
We would. We would save us a week of travel,
Time is of the essence, isn't it?
but
Yes,
we'd
it
have
is.
to cross we'd have to cross the front.
All right. Suggestion.
Yeah, go on, Corzin.
If you can scry on your brother again at the next opportunity, find out exactly where he is. That might answer some questions.
Yeah.
But also, maybe if we were to, if we could get to Kion, could we not cross over the river at that point and maybe make contact with Philippe if he's still there?
Why?
He might be able to get us over the lines without us having to get around them, if you see what I mean.
I mean, possibly, but we're not. He's not on the same side as us, darling.
I'm aware.
But why would he help? He knows we're for the assembly. This isn't a city siege anymore. We're not saving somewhere. That we're fighting for the assembly at this point. I don't think he'd help.
We're trying to bring the conflict to an end as quickly as possible.
I'd also be worried that he'd just stick us in prison if he knew that we were trying to get things for the assembly.
Alright.
I could be wrong. I mean, you know him better than I do, but I really got the impression he was very, very against.
Well, at the very least, what we can do in Kion is we can cross the river at that point. So if we're on the right side of the river, we don't have to cross it anywhere else.
Yeah, but the fighting's
The
beyond
fighting's
the
still
river
happening.
now.
How the fuck are we going to get through a front line?
Well,
Also, my brother's a literal sniper.
Well, if we can find out even vaguely where he is, that might give us the information we need to just avoid him.
Okay, I mean, I can do that now. I only used one because stuff got creepy.
Fair enough.
yeah.
Let's do that and then decide from there.
I hope he's in a place where you can.
Fingers crossed.
So,
I'll get out the eye.
get out the eye.
I'll spin it, which I'm going to do in real life because Sam got me one. It's still cool.
Oh, excellent.
And I say, show me my brother.
You focus, you plunge into the waters. Your brother continues to fail his saving throws.
He is not wise.
Don't think Adrian has actually rolled above an 8
He
on
has
a
been
natural
distracted
natural
in
roll.
varying ways.
Yep.
Yes,
every
that's
time
true.
we've scried on
Your
it.
save has also gone up, so that's nice.
My save has gone
It
up.
is harder.
Yeah, to 17.
17, thank
Yeah.
you. Because it does already take a penalty by just virtue of being related to you by blood.
Yeah, true.
So, okay, relevance check. Okay. The bubble appears. You step through it. It is dark. The sun overhead has... Well, the sun is no longer overhead. They're the last rays of dusk glimmering in the distance. And the battlefield is quiet. And it is a battlefield. Looking around, you can see it gets a little bit blurrier as it gets further into the distance. You can see the churned mud of places where artillery shells have struck. and soldiers have been fighting through. But with the falling of the sun, the battle has reached something of a temporary halt. Here and there you can see small groups of soldiers moving to reclaim the dead, or if need be, simply just put shovels through their necks to prevent, as the quick field means of preventing reanimation. And there is a sort of no man's land that you can see. On one side, closer by, there are areas where sandbags have been erected into temporary points to hold behind, and indeed they are clustered at this point of the front around a somewhat burned out looking farmhouse, where the old solid walls of the barn and the farmhouse itself are being used for cover. Yet far away you can see where a matching line where groups of nervous soldiers are still keeping an eye out behind their defensible walls. The far line appears to be, you can just make out the distinctive cockades of the National Guard. This nearer line appears to be the Old Guard, and you watch as, still dressed in Old Guard uniform, your brother is moving quickly and silently towards the near lines. He appears to be something interesting, actually. He is wearing gloves, and his skin colour is not the charcoal grey you'd expect. He appears to be wearing he appears to have a still quite dark, but a more sort of dark chocolate brown skin tone, as you might get from someone from Sanistal or Western Haldanos.
So it's disguised as not a drow, basically.
Essentially, yes. And the makeup seems to work with the grey enough with the greyish coloration beneath that it is able to pass. And he's also doing a significantly better job than the time you were pretending to be a high elf back in Bulwick's Bay. He has a rough looking his hair. He also appears to have acquired a slightly scraggly looking brown haired wig as well.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah. And as he makes it back, he kind of hops out. You see him sort of keep a lookout, and then and there is actually a sentry nearby, which is peering. The sentry has not done the best of jobs. They are holding up a lantern in front of them, which is generally foolish. They're human, so they've completely ruined their night vision, and are peering out, with a musket at the ready, and they're just sort of leaning on the sandbag and keeping a watch. Your brother slips pretty much over the wall.
So he's slipping past Honore's lot.
Yeah.
Cool.
About 20 feet down. The sentry doesn't notice him. And your brother also ignores the sentry. Doesn't bother killing him or anything. Just slips past another set of sentries, a patrol that's walking by, and makes his way towards the farmhouse. After a certain point, he stops. He almost seems to stop sneaking, and instead he notices he has a musket, puts it on his shoulder, and adopts a slightly slovenly sort of march. And as he gets closer towards the farmhouse, actually passes by several soldiers, one of whom kind of just gives him a sort of vague nod. He vaguely nods back, just seems to blend in. He makes his way towards into the farmhouse itself, on the way, he actually stops by a barrel where a set of barrels and a campfire where a handful of soldiers appear to be gambling. Makes as if to kind of watch the game in progress, and then likely picks up a couple of bottles of picks up 2 bottles of beer and a bottle of wine that have been left on a table nearby by the drinking soldiers, walks on without them really noticing, makes his way up to the farmhouse, where there are a couple of guards on the gate. "Halt," says one of them. "What do you want, soldier?" And Adrian replies, "The commander wanted me to bring him something." Holds up the bottle, and whilst I'm here, holds up a couple for them. "Ah, now that is the respect you don't get on the other side of the field, am I right?" The three of them have a laugh.
It's a Celestia right now.
They both take the bottles, give him a salute. He salutes back.
Probably put poison in them, you knobs.
Slips into the farmhouse, and indeed you do watch as Adrian uncorks the bottle when no one is looking, takes a small pouch of something from his jacket.
Oh, there we go.
Slips it in.
Celestia.
Does a little trick where he lines the exterior of the cork with something, then puts it back in. Takes a moment.
Adrian.
And moves in.
Who's he poisoning?
You see there are a handful of what appear to be staff officers discussing something over a map. It looks like they're working in positions on the front. And there is nearby, there are a handful of just glasses and a bottle of wine. He walks by while they're distracted, picks up one wine, puts down the other. Walks right back out.
These people?
So looking in,
just like high up officers.
Just roll me a history check to see if you recognise rankings and so on.
Do you have army training?
You do have army training, yes.
18.
Yeah. So these aren't the highest of the high. General Honore is not here, but this does appear to be a gathering of the local first and second lieutenants for this area. And some of the captains, as they are just discussing what tactics to try and use the following morning to push, what orders they've received from the from head office. It's literally just a tactics meeting. They're not a high enough level to really be discussing strategy, preparing for the new push that will come.
But it's quite sort of casual, and they've got wine.
Yeah, it's casual. Yeah. They've got wine. They know that there's not really going to be much fighting more tonight because that's the pattern of these things.
Do they open the wine?
Your brother steps to one side, moves away in a position where he can see what's happening through a couple of doors, and just takes up a post guarding. And remains there for the next 5 minutes until one of the soldiers, the lieutenant, snaps his fingers and a second lieutenant goes, uncorks the wine, pours them all some drinks.
Wow.
Oh dear.
He actually checks the bottle first to make sure it's not been tampered with. Doesn't detect any tampering.
Adrian's a good assassin, man.
Pours it through. Recloaks it, and once he sees that
I sort of stand next to my brother and say, "You're really quite good at your job,
Once several of them have had a drink, Adrian reshuffles his musket and marches on out.
I'm following.
And gets about a minute away before the bubble dissolves.
Well,
there was no sign of a river. During that, give me a perception check for keeping an eye out on the surroundings.
Yeah, because I would have tried to trace something. That's a 1. It's a fuck on the fuck dice. I forgot to look.
You were so transfixed following your brother that you didn't.
I know that there wasn't a river though, which is something.
Yeah, but you didn't see a river. And you return back to the surface.
Well,
he just poisoned a load of officers. while
On
disguised.
what side?
On Honore's side. The royalists.
Huh.
Like higher ranking officer, medium.
Like how high? You
Not
said
high.
like not
they
that
are,
high.
They are basically the officers in charge of that bit of the front. They're not very high ranking. These aren't colonels and generals.
Like not really high. I think they're in charge of that bit of the front, but not
That's-
like proper generals, you know?
That's weirder.
Super weird. He did a fucking good Sulian accent. I was impressed. Changed to be like this drunk Sulian guard. He painted his skin up and everything.
Wow.
I mean, the thought that occurs to me, this might be a bit dangerous. This could potentially be a bargaining chip if loads of people have been randomly dying and they're not sure why. We could tell them who's doing it.
That's fair.
It
But,
would be good to know who he's working for first.
True, because if he's working for our side, then well, fuck, basically. Why would he be working for our side? This is maddening.
That's the thing. I mean, we had the conversation before about if your family were likely to come down on anybody's side, it would be the royalists because the status quo benefits them.
Yeah,
Better.
and also like the Ebon Guard and that, they've always been,
But is there something else going on here? Is there some other thing that your family would gain just purely by having this conflict continue?
I mean, they always, in a sort of general sense, they're always out for being on top and being in charge. And my mother has always been aware that the way the Underdark is won't last forever because the guns are going to get bigger. So at some point, somebody will invade because right now what keeps people out is the monsters. But when the guns get bigger, that's not going to be a thing. So maybe she's, I don't know, maybe she's pushing for something else. I couldn't tell.
Well, in her position, what I might do is I might try and get a foothold on the surface. Maybe not militarily, but have something that secures my interests.
I mean, that's... In my head, that's always been partly what the Ebon Guard are. Because the Ebon Guard are pretty frowned upon. Down the people, I mean, they're not even frowned upon. People don't know about them. Because there aren't that many drow. And not everybody gets through training. It's not good. Also, sending people up to work for the surface is like, it's not good. We're all about blood purity and all that bollocks, aren't we?
Right.
And, you know, sticking to your own and being loyal to the drow and all that shit. Sending a load of people up to work for the king is just a bit... Not really supposed to do it, you know? But I always thought that maybe that's what she was doing.
Leah.
What was that?
Demeaning, perhaps?
Yeah, I suppose. That's a good word for it. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is all bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't agree with any of it. But this is her mentality. But
Maybe she's working with someone to destabilize the country so that they can take power and she gets a slice of that.
maybe...
That makes sense. Maybe she has an ally on the surface somewhere.
Or maybe she's not involved and it's Adrian working.
Maybe Adrian has his
For
own
someone,
motives. I don't know. I mean, I've got one charge left of this. It might be worth looking in on my sister to see if she's doing anything
If you
useful to
can.
look at. I mean, yeah, she's always been fucking good at noticing beforehand.
Yeah, it might be worth it.
Can't hurt. I mean, we don't really have any other pressing people we need to look in on right this second.
No, I can't think of anything. And we can always do some in the morning. It'll reset it.
That might be a good idea.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I spin it. Showing my sister.
You plunge down, look around, no bubble.
For fuck's sake!
So-
Does she ever hang around anywhere that you can scry on?
If she knew she was being scried upon twice before, she'd have taken precautions.
That was like
It's
a
what-
week ago. I mean, you can't hang out all the time in somewhere that's not scryable, can you?
Wasn't Philippe's tent protected against that sort of thing?
Yeah, she could have a tent, I suppose.
She could have something like that, yeah.
Or her carriage could be, or some bollocks.
You are
Pretty
aware that
fucking rich.
you are aware that if you could get a mage to cast Sanctum, you can Sanctum pretty much anything. You can sanctum a ship if you want.
Yeah.
We need to have a think about what happens when we get there. And we need to find out what's going on with the royal family.
We do.
I've not been thinking about it on purpose, but
I can send once today,
it's going to affect a lot.
but it might be worth waiting until I have more than one spell in case we want to have a back and forth a little bit.
Well,
Because
we can
tomorrow
ask...
I'll be able to do it like 5 times, whereas now I've got literally one sending I could do.
True.
Given the amount of time that's passed, would it be reasonable to assume if they were still alive that the royal family would have made it back to Alisson by now?
So, it is evening on the 13th. I believe it was the 9th when you got there. So, it's a 6-day journey by magical horse.
Oh, right.
So no, they might not have done.
So,
Okay, right.
no.
But it is also still worth checking in case they've been intercepted or anything terrible.
But we
Yeah.
don't need to do it tonight necessarily.
No.
We
4
could
day
do
journey
it
by
tomorrow
stick
night, and
horse.
hopefully we won't be fighting people tomorrow. We'll just be travelling.
Alright,
You'll have
if
a
you
bit
can't
more.
think of anyone else to send to, I have a request.
Molly?
I think she deserves to know that the person who threatened our son is dead.
Oh,
Fuck yes. Of course
Yes.
she does. We should send her. That's much more important. Tell me what you want me to say.
Alright, tell her that we are sat around the burning remains of Olga Gristlegums. She's not going to threaten anyone anymore, and to tell little Corzin that I miss him very much, but I'm doing my best to make sure that he's safe.
Oh. Just making sure I've got all of that down.
Is that too much, or...
I'm writing it down to find out, darling.
Ah,
So,
Sorry, I'm counting words.
that's alright.
So, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Ooh.
how many over?
Nope, just one. I've got it. Cool.
Cool.
Alright, I get my spirits together. I say, sat around burning remains of Olga Gristlegums. She won't threaten us anymore. Missing little Corzin very much, but doing his best to make sure he's safe. Forget who it is. I've left out some words of like, it's Corzin, but you know.
It's part of the
It's
spell,
fine.
isn't
I
it?
think she's
Yes!
know at this point.
Fuck! Yes! Oh, I could kiss you. Corzin. I could kiss Corzin.
I'm going to say I'll underread this so that Corzin gets it word
Yeah.
for word.
Tell him I love him. And I can't wait. And the last word's not so much a word, but you just feel you just hear a.
Oh. Well,
Corzin kind of goes a bit red.
well, you have all the snogs awaiting you, my darling, when you're home, apparently.
Well, we do try and make up for lost time when we can.
Don't tell
I
me
don't wanna
anything
know.
else.
Oh no. Ew.
I ruffle Corzin's hair.
Oh, stop it.
I'm going to elbow him.
He's going to playfully elbow you back.
All right. I guess we'd better get some rest.
Oh, fuck yes, let's sleep.
And then I guess we'll
sleep
figure out
sounds
which way
so
we want to
good.
go.
Yeah, at some point before we get there, like maybe not tonight, we need to sleep. Tomorrow night, we need to talk about what we're gonna say.
We do. We should
Let's
also
talk to let's find out about the king first.
find out about the king, and then we should go through Savat's points and actually work out what our arrangement is.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I think we do need information before we can do that. I think
Yeah.
we need to have sent, and I just don't have that many spells. I'd like to have a few to play with.
Sleep.
Yeah.
All right. You take it. You
Taking watches.
settle
Yes.
down. Begin your watches.
We take all the watches.
Cool. We'll say first watch.
Corzin.
Corzin. Second watch.
Me.
I'll take the last one,
Cool.
I think. Because then I'm
All right.
fully rested by the time it gets to
Leah
watch.
will stay up with Celestia. So, Corzin, first perception check, please.
Okay. That is a 22.
There is one point in the as you're watching, you hear a sort of rustling in the trees, and you peer up, and it's some distance away. You see what appears to be a doe,
A female deer.
a female deer. But there are no rays or golden drops of sun. At this time.
Sorry.
Moving into between the trees, it stops for a moment.
Where's
watches
Snape?
you.
Sorry, I'm a dick. Ignore me. Carry on.
Again, there's that soft sort of rustling in the trees, and then there is a sudden as something appears in the air above it, and a baby bear drops out of the sky. Lands on the doe. There's a moment sort of before the bear basically crushes its neck with its weight, and delivers a last bite to break its neck. This bear is a little curious compared to other bears that you've seen in the past. You've seen bears at the distance before. Its snout is a little bit more pointed than most, although it is definitely a bear's snout, and between its limbs are long flaps of skin, something like akin to a flying squirrel in nature. Roll a nature check.
Yep.
It's a drop bear.
Nature. That is a 16.
You recognize this from pictures. This is an owl bear. Known for their ability to glide between trees and suddenly drop down on foes. It pays no attention to you, however, having acquired its kill. Instead, begins dragging it further away into the woods.
Notes to self: in Calcinea, owlbears can fly.
Glide.
More like gliding, but yes, owlbears can climb trees and then glide some distance and drop bare.
Right, Corzin is going to keep an eye on this, make sure that he's not doing anything to startle the owlbear, but just have his carbine ready in case it makes any moves towards him or the camp.
After having a bit of food, a bit of meat, the owlbear drags the rest of its kill away. It does not bother you further for the rest of your watch. You awaken Celestia and Leah. And Celestia, can I have a perception check from you for your watch?
Saw an owlbear earlier. Just
What?
keep an eye out.
Am I familiar with that as a thing?
Roll a nature check.
Yeah, I probably am, actually. That's a 24.
Yeah, you've seen pictures of them
Oh,
and read about them.
those are real. Okay, well, good to
Yeah,
know.
it took down a deer, but
Oof. That's quite
just
creepy.
keep an eye out. Those things can. The thing about them is they move silently when they're going through the air.
Oh, good. Well, that's great. Thanks
Oh,
for
you'll
letting
see
me
him
know.
coming a mile off.
True, actually, I can see in the dark. That'll help.
Yeah, and
Really
probably they don't
observant.
want anything to do with us. They're just out for for... Well, look, there's far less challenging game than us.
You're familiar. You from reading, you're aware that owlbears have learned the hard way to stay away from fires.
Fair. Well, I will do my check.
Okay.
Oh, it's not good. That's a 7.
Okay. Your watch passes uneventfully. You and Leah engage
imagine
in
it's a
some
bit
quiet
awkward,
conversation, but
Yeah.
not much else.
I tinkle away on my guitar a little bit, just quietly.
You awaken Scamp
And Jeffrey.
and Jeffrey.
Does Jeffrey have dark vision?
If friends with them.
If friend is with them.
Ah, right, okay.
So roll a perception check, Scamp.
Oh no. Does Jeffrey get one?
Yeah, sure.
So I got a 7, and Jeffrey, I believe, gets a +1, but I can't find his card. I've lost Jeffrey.
Oh,
Drink.
So that's a 13.
and
I had
again,
him earlier. He's here somewhere. He'll turn up.
little else disturbs you that day. So, the morning comes. As the dim light begins to filter through the leaves, you awaken. You're awoken and you set up, you again build up the fire and prepare what... The wood pigeon is all gone, but you are able to...
Chocolate for
You
breakfast.
have a bit of chocolate, you
Coffee. Where's the coffee?
you make up your coffee, and you have some of your travel biscuits. Celestia, the coffee is great, wakes you up. You're kind of hungry this morning, and the travel are just kind of peckish,
God.
and the travel biscuits don't really seem to do it this morning. The coffee suppresses your appetite a little, but that's mostly just that's just more probably just the caffeine.
I'm just sick of biscuits, but fuck, these are not satisfying.
Well, they're generally not something that you eat out of choice, but out of necessity.
But hey, it could be elk.
Could be
It
elk.
absolutely
Very
could be.
true.
Yeah, it always could
I'll
be elk.
see if I
it's
can.
not.
Yeah.
They're better if you dip them in chocolate.
Yes.
That's all right, Scamp?
Yeah, help yourself.
I don't
Dips,
ask,
yeah.
I just do it.
Celestia, sorry, Leah does ask and drips you out. It tastes sweeter, but still no more filling.
A little better.
Corzin
Is
sort of
there anything
scratches
that I
his
do want?
Yeah, actually, you can really sharply smell the blood of that deer in the air.
I'm a
It's
fucking
making me feel
vampire.
hungry.
Oh no. I didn't make Celestia to be a vampire.
Depending on where we end up this evening, I'll see if I can find us some rabbits or something.
Oh, I haven't said any of this.
Yeah,
I
but this
know.
is just
Yeah.
just because you're out of fresh meat.
Yeah. Some fresh food would be nice.
Yeah, fresh meat sounds really good.
So, we've got a decision to make.
I'm just gonna roll a dice to see whether I'm clever enough to tell anyone, because
Yep.
I can't decide. No.
Definitely not.
Fair enough.
No, I just sniff at the air and just go a bit quiet.
You're yeah, it's like you've got... Over the course of the day, by the way, you start to develop just a very slight cramp in your wrists.
Oh, my wrist twinged when you said
Yeah,
that.
mine too.
Yeah.
It's just like moving my wrists around.
So, how do we want to travel? Do we want to cross the line?
I'm scared to, but I mean that does save a lot of time, doesn't it?
Yeah, and time is of the essence. If
Time
we can
really
shave,
is of the essence. I mean, if we get it fucking sorted before the king is back to Alisson, that is kind of amazing.
yeah.
You're right, actually.
Also, though, we should ask what's going on with that and if there's been any new developments and that kind
Yeah,
of
we
thing.
should.
If you can get a message to Savat or one of his underlings.
Tonight. Let's do it tonight when you don't know. When you know we don't need the spells.
Actually, yeah, that's... Oh, but...
That's
yeah.
sensible.
I mean, Your idea about Philippe Corzin, it's a thing that if it worked, it'd be so good, but I'm so concerned that he won't help us.
Well, my original thinking was he's proven himself an honourable man. If we are diplomatic representatives, he surely would be bound as a soldier of the crown to.
I mean, maybe if you talk to him, I feel like surely there's a chance he wouldn't just chuck us in a prison cell if it wasn't going to help.
Unless it's proof about magic, that won't hold me long.
Yeah, true.
I think, given the history we have with him,
poof. Nobody else can poof like you can.
Thank you.
In all seriousness, like we can just gone.
Yeah. So we think that's our best option? Try and talk to him?
It's bloody quick.
If nothing else, if we're in Kion, we can maybe lay low with the wagoners for a bit.
Leah raises her hand. If we're heading to Kion...
You want to get back with the ship, darling?
Yeah, and I could help out with the wagoners for a while. They really need someone competent at in dealing with the sick there. I get the feeling they lost. They do. It'll be easier now that they're working with the bishop. But
that's fair. Do you want us to help you get in touch with Briggs as well?
Yeah, there might not be that many.
If you need to, when you've got a sending spare, just tell him where I am.
We'll try and do it when we're in town with you, so that you know the answer. If that makes any sense.
I mean, I'm going to be staying in Kion.
Yeah, true.
If you can't do it today, just send him the message. He'll come.
Yeah, and I guess we'll let you know when we can as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me checking in now and then.
No, of course not.
All right. If that changes, let me know. It's all fine.
Thank you. And it is fine.
Okay.
I want to know how you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's give this a go.
Okay, so where do you do this, Scamp?
Somewhere a little just outside, like further out the ruins, further away from Olga's place.
Okay. You search around until you find a clearing that suits your needs.
That isn't the one that we fell with the big
That
old
isn't
hole
the
in.
one with the hole full of the, now that you think about it, suspiciously destroyed furniture.
Alright, yeah. Huh.
Yep, pitfall of
Oh,
mimics.
that's nasty.
That's really super nasty, actually. Mimic pit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody put that idea in a one shot and tell us how it goes, because fucking
Yeah.
hell. That's
Oh, yeah,
really,
please
really
do.
bad. So glad none of us went in that. We'd have all been dead.
But no, you find another clearing with some fairly short grass in it, which serves your purposes. So you take a stick and you've been mixing together your chalk dust with your shards of peridot. How do you do this, Scamp?
I'm gonna copy out from my book because I copied it in, and I'll only replace some of the symbols with smiley faces.
Okay.
I want a stowaway to make your spellbook, because it just is so
Yeah.
adorable in my head. That
Like
I want
filled
to
with
see
like
it.
web dings.
Oh,
dear.
so cute. And like little clouds and
Yeah.
little weird
Lots
animals.
of stars because I've worked out how to draw a good star.
Yeah. And like people with the wrong number of fingers and like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cute.
Okay. So,
I'm sort of happily humming to myself and drawing.
She's just like rubbing her wrists.
as
You alright there?
Yeah, I think I might have pulled something yesterday. Just a bit sore. Not surprising though. I mean, everything should be hurting today, really, let's be honest.
I'm going to sign
No, I
my
suppose
name
not.
here.
As you complete it, there's a low thump. As it actually grows more and more complete, the bits of peridot that are crumbled up in the chalk begin to catch the light, and then they start glowing, and there's a gentle sort of that begins to appear in them. And as you get closer and closer to completion, they begin to glow brighter and brighter, and the thrumming grows and grows. And then as it's done, the whole floor begins to shake. And
Oh, are you sure about this? No.
And with a very sudden there is a huge tear which appears in just a jagged slash of light in the center, which swells outwards into what looks like a glowing orb. But it's not an orb. It's as if there was a hole rendered in 3 dimensions, like a sphere. Everything around you, a wind whips up as air is suddenly sucked into and around this portal which has appeared. Leaves are thrown into the air. There is a terrible sound. Sparks of energy begin crashing all around the circle, and you can see in the center of it is Destin's vault, where a similar whipping of wind has appeared and is scattering papers and bits and pieces of art. But it doesn't look stable. It looks like the whole thing could collapse at any moment.
Oh, we're all gonna
Time to
die.
go! I'll be honest, it's less subtle than I was expecting.
Okay, what do you
How
do?
do we-
I'm going through!
Okay,
Jeffrey,
Scamp,
come!
you run through. Leah
No,
looks,
fuck.
and then runs after you.
Okay, I go.
Corzin holding his tricorn on jumps.
As you jump through, there is the strangest sensation of being in 2 places at once, and then suddenly you push through, and you find yourself on the other side, like you've just jumped through a hole in the world. And as you stumble through on the other side, you can see below the stone circle is lit with the same blistering light, just lighting up all of the glowing, the many lines and sigils on it. And you stare behind you, you can see this same just glaring hole in the world, crackling with light, and you can see that clearing behind you. It shudders again for a moment and then suddenly snaps shut into that same jagged line, which seals out of existence.
Oh,
Well...
now I know what a rum ration feels like.
Leah turns and proceeds to vomit into a corner.
Oh, that's going to be here forever.
Alright, darling. Pat her on the back.
Aww.
It's little bits of chocolate and biscuit.
Ooh, head rush. Okay. That was weird.
You alright, Jeffrey? It's okay. Friend, will you tell him it's okay? It is okay, isn't it?
That's new.
Yeah.
Friend does not confirm whether or not it's going to be okay.
Wisdom's going to shit herself.
Yeah.
That's
I mean-
bragging rights with wisdom, like, forever.
Corzin is just going to start moving around, like touching the walls and the floor to make sure this is real.
It is real. The the circle below is actually hot to the touch, but it continues to, as the light fades in it, it begins to slowly cool back down.
Celestia's kind of just closing her eyes till her head stops spinning. Did you really just do that? Are we in Kion, or is this like a weird dream
This
or
this
something?
does appear to be Destin's vault.
This. Oh, by the region.
How many
this
days
is
journey is that?
So,
from where we were?
that would be about 300 miles.
Fucking hell. Fuck. Bullshit. Fuck.
That's insane.
That's crazy. How did you do that?
Well, it was already here. It's just the same thing, but a bit further.
I mean, me feeling like I might be able to bring people back from the dead suddenly just feels a bit, you know.
No, that's proper
So-
magic. This is
alright.
something that's already here.
Scamp, could you use this one here to take us back to where we were,
No.
if you wanted to?
No, I need a tether to go to.
Ah,
It's like stepping off the edge of something. You can't just step back.
You've fallen already.
Yeah.
still, I mean... This is incredible. Alright,
I can take us to the undead temple.
No, we don't want to go there. Nope. Nope.
you know,
Well, maybe one
not
day.
high on my list of places I'd like to revisit,
mean,
if I
if
can
we
possibly
ever-
help it.
If we ever want to get some treasure back.
Still curious about that door.
That's very true, though.
That door looked terrifying.
Yeah. Are there any gems here?
Well, there's the whole load of
No.
bronze, but
Oh.
There's a great deal of copper. And yes, there is a... it has been knocked to the side by the winds whipped up by the teleportation effect. But there is a now scattered pile of emeralds.
You're still trying to get us to pick up those fucking emeralds. I am not touching those emeralds.
The lovely scarab-shaped emeralds.
Like, I just need, 10 golds worth.
I love that you're still going for the emeralds. Like, pick them up.
You asked if there were any
fuck you.
gems. That's where the gems were.
There's no other gems in this.
No, you have looted this vault of much of its gemstone worth, of all its gemstone
I
worth.
do want to go and look in his pantry for booze. And
it's probably been cleared out by now, but be my guest.
yeah, I'm looking for something specific. I want to go and see. I don't want to tell the other two, but I want to go and see if there's any gnomish brandy.
Okay, you unlock the chamber on, can proceed into the last chamber, open the secret passageway, and go upstairs. Yeah, the pantry, by the way, has been pretty thoroughly ransacked, but roll me an investigation check anyway.
That's pretty good. 23.
23. Luck is with you. Way at the back, you find... So there was a bottle of gnomish brandy. It looks like when the people here ransacked it for looking for food, they smashed a couple of bottles of wine by accident. One of those bottles was a blue glass bottle of gnomish brandy. Now, the bottle itself, most of it has been spilled, but you do see a little bit of the bottle which has maybe half a cup's worth of the distinctive purplish blue iridescent spirit in it.
So enough for how many?
I think it's only a mouth. Did I say a mouthful or a
You
drop?
said a small amount.
It's like a drop. You have enough there. If you decant it into a little potion bottle, you have enough to do this enough times.
A few times. Cool.
Quite
I'm
a
going
few
to put it
times.
into... I assume that I probably have an empty bottle
You-
or there's one
you-
around.
You drink potions a lot. You actually have the potion bottles that
Yeah.
Isaac drunk, and you
I'm going to quietly
carefully
just
decant.
do that and
Yeah.
put it into my bag.
Just a couple of drams of gnomish brandy.
Cool.
Well. Now
I come back down. Well, that happened.
Well, we've now
Yeah, we're
got-
definitely here. This is amazing.
Actually, before you come back down, were you being all stealthy or anything?
I suppose not particularly. I think it's locked up, don't
so
I?
yeah, so you do actually hear as you pick up finish decanting the brandy, movement from elsewhere in the house.
I think we've probably come up out of the vault by this point.
Yeah,
Most of us.
yeah. So I guess you're all up out in the pantry now. You move into the kitchen. You go. Someone go, hello,
Hello!
and you watch as a black-coated human fellow and a couple of halflings. The black-coated fellow is carrying a musket, but the halflings are just carrying sacks of clothes. Come through. Oh, I know you.
Hello.
You are from the bridge battle.
Yes, darling, were you there?
Yes. Didn't you leave by ship a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah,
A
we
week
came
ago?
back.
Just drop by.
I didn't hear anything about the ship returning.
Oh, different thing. Yeah.
It's complicated.
It is really, really complicated.
Oh. Okay. Do you want me to send a word to the council that you're in town, or they already know?
Oh, well, we were going to contact them this evening.
Oh, okay.
I mean, might not be a bad
if you've got a
thing.
sense-
How have
You
things
to
been
warn
here?
them.
Oh, I mean, I was just going to have someone run and deliver a message by hand.
Oh no, we can do it quicker.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do that.
Yeah, how have things been here?
Things are on the up and up. We've mostly been focused around clearing 2 areas. Immediately around the, we've essentially been trying to set up a nice little corridor from the cathedral towards the river, and then we've got boats going between from a sort of jetty of sorts we've set up down towards the chateau, and another one up towards the docks near where they are calling it Gold Town.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of the town that needs to be purged, but much less white now, so it's just a question of doing it bit by bit.
Glad it's
In the meantime,
working.
we're trying to reclaim streets and get people housed, eventually get to a point where we can hopefully get one of the gates open and start getting food in.
That's good to know.
It sounds like it's happening.
Yeah, thanks, I guess.
That's
It
alright.
doesn't really cover it, but
For whatever it's worth, I mean, we just did what we could.
Thank you. As well, you were part of it.
it's alright.
Everyone helped. It wasn't just us.
I mean, we just came here to get some more clothes, but
Great. Yeah, he's got loads, I think.
yeah,
Fancy
less
stuff
than
as
so.
well.
But this is, I think, trip number 5. You should have seen that halfling's wardrobe.
Yeah.
Rather burgeoning, I'm sure.
Oh, indeed.
We need to get to the army, really. I've got a job to do.
I believe, yes, I believe Captain Philippe has, Commander Philippe has set up a position in the chateau now that they're able to, because now that they've gotten a few small boats going, they're able to go back and forth a little
Right.
more easily.
We'll head there then.
Fantastic. Let's do that.
Thank you.
Go anyway.
I'll take you down to the ferry. You can get a little boat across.
Oh, lovely. Very nice.
Excellent.
Like a fairy.
Oh.
And he does lead you out of the house and towards the ferry. And as you kind of make your way through the streets, you can still hear the sound of occasional gunshots here and there, but they seem more coordinated now, like several at a time in one area at once, rather than scattered here and there. And as you make your way down, you come with an escort of about a dozen soldiers who are moving a group of people. You actually end up having to wait about 20 minutes for a patrol to be ready. They escort you and several
we
others
can so do this without them.
down to the ferry. Then you then wait. And the ferry takes you directly to the chateau. And I think we will pick up with you arriving at the chateau after these, no doubt important, messages. If you like Flintlocks and Fireballs, you can listen to us through the free, easy-to-use app Podcoin and get paid to listen to our podcast and every other podcast. When you listen to a podcast through the platform, you'll get Podcoin. You can spend Podcoin on Amazon or Starbucks gift cards, or you can just donate it all to charity, which is what we do. If you listen to podcasts anyway, do it through Podcoin, and you can help out someone else at no cost to yourself. So, download the Podcoin app on iPhone or through the App Store on Android, and you'll get 300 Podcoin off the bat with the invite code Flintlocks. Podcoin. It's the podcast player that pays. And now a word from our friends over at Chasm Quest.
Hi, we're Chasm Quest. Come with us as we voyage across the Chasm Sea and into a heroic adventure into a new world. The quest is dangerous.
I want to ride that sword down his body, like just like split him in half.
mysterious,
There's something about the new lens. There's nothing that can prepare us for what's to come.
and very, very rowdy.
We lick each other's nostrils.
Listen to Chasm Quest, all one word, everywhere podcasts are streamed. Now, let's set sail.
Hello, and welcome to Salubrious Vlad's completely above-board blood drive. While you are waiting for the phlebotomist, why not have a glass of milk and a cookie? And like, share, rate, review, and subscribe to Flintlocks and Fireballs. Rest assured, your donations of vital fluid will go to a worthwhile cause. And welcome back. So, the ferry pulls up at a little jetty that has been set up on the northern shore of the isle where St. Antoine's Chateau is, and you are escorted up to the main sort of briefing room. The briefing room continues to be a hive of activity as ever, although this time it's a little bit more organised, and you can see, looking to the south, that there are operations have expanded down into much of the dockyard of the dock front outside of the chateau as well. It looks like they've managed to carve out more of the area thanks to the cooperation of the various groups. And you are led up to the harassed as ever looking form of Alton Appleblossom.
Yay!
He looks up. Oh!
Alton, the old reprobate.
Oh, boy, the Regent. Didn't expect to see you.
How are you doing, darling?
Well, you know, gestures all around it. Various
Knackered.
people. Yeah, I'd love to say I'm going to get to the point where it runs itself, but we're not there yet.
You'll get there.
You should be president. You'd be much better than anybody else would.
Do you want me to fill an early grave? Is that what you want?
No, we should compromise. You could be king of the world.
Oh, you'll outlive all of us, I've no doubt. Now,
Oh yeah.
I don't think you can die.
I'll start drinking now, shall I? Well, I didn't see your ship. I didn't get any reports about your ship coming in.
No, we came in another way.
Oh. Insight from Appleblossom. Squints at you for a moment. What, you came in through one of the gates, or?
A gate.
Yeah, we came in through a gate.
yeah, not your,
I step on
You're-
Corzin's foot.
Oh, you can do that flying thing, can't you?
Yeah!
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I can do
Yeah.
that.
It's really fast.
like I was just going to say, not your typical means of conveyance.
Yeah, that'll do. Great.
Alden sort of glances between the four of you. Oh, welcome back, Miss Lear as well. Yes, actually, do you still need a bit of help in the infirmary? I mean, if you're offering, yeah, certainly. Would have thought you'd been on your ship. Well, I'm hoping maybe they can pick me up. I think it's been a busy sort of time, and I'd like to see if I can help out here for a bit. No skin off my back.
You wouldn't happen to have any blacksmiths here, would you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we've got to get ironwork needs done.
I've got a bit of a damage to this weapon of mine, and I take out the saber.
You looks at it. Oh.
Something didn't agree with it, but I didn't agree to it.
Oh, I can see that.
Been a bastard of a couple of days. Well, actually, it ended well.
Oh, you see him put his fist in his mouth for a moment. I'm not going to lie, you need a dwarf to work on that. If you want to get that to the level to where it was before.
Do you have any dwarves here?
Not here. You want to go to a city that's a bit more intact.
So I
ideally.
finished that sentence in my head as not on me, but I must be really tired because I found it really funny and I had to share it.
You're
Not
giving a
dwarf,
dwarf
not
a
on me,
piggyback.
It's not where my mind went, but okay. Not in the city, but I'm sure if you go to somewhere that's a bit more intact, you can probably find one. He's they're always in demand.
All right.
Probably get the repair work done because
Yeah,
that looks.
most cities have a dwarven blacksmith, don't they? I mean, obviously not this one.
Not
because
big, but
they got hit
yeah,
by a
if you went-
fucking kraken. But
It probably did prior,
But no, if you went to somewhere like Port of Sals or Alisant or somewhere, probably yeah.
All right.
Big cities will usually have them.
thanks for your help anyway. Is Philippe Laurent about to talk to?
He's currently leading a bit of an expedition to clear out some of the streets, but he'll be back in a bit.
Where's he clearing?
Working to try and get a nice to finish off the rest of the way so that we can get a corridor out to the south gate from here.
Right past the Royal Arsenal.
No, that'd be a bit far off to the east. Literally just directly south, so that he can link up to where his camp is.
Oh, of
outside the
course,
walls.
that makes sense.
Plus, once we got the gate stabilized, we can start getting food in.
Yes, useful.
yeah, how are you all doing on that?
Well, we've made some arrangements to bring it in by little boats and so on, but there's no ships quite ready to go. And frankly, we've got parties who are doing, I'm going to be blunt here, a certain amount of looting so that we've got stuff to trade.
Fair.
But
Absolutely.
once we get
No one's using it. Bugger it.
once we get a land route in, hopefully we can. It's not like food. Well, the country's still starving, so food's pretty hard to come by. But what we can get, we're going to try and get in and pay through the bloody nose to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
We need to talk to Philippe, so do you need a hand?
Nothing's coming to mind, but I'll give you directions to where a squad is, where the command is at the moment, and when they've got a moment, I'm sure you can meet up with him and talk to him.
Cool. Yeah, we go through fire
Yeah.
some zombies again.
Yeah, well, we're on our way.
I'm sure they'd appreciate the help. All right, well, you want to go down this way, and it gives you some directions. Is there anything else you wish to do while in the chateau?
Does anyone need anything?
We should say bye to Leah in case we don't come back here.
We should, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume she's...
She's
is
literally here. Well, it's only farewell for now. I'm going to see you all again.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
If we don't get killed on the front line or anything. Sorry, I probably shouldn't say that, should I?
This is not farewell, this is until next time.
Come back to me.
Alright then.
We'll make sure she does.
Yeah.
Because, if she dies, we'll just drag her back out of there.
Of death?
Apparently. I mean, we still have a favour.
We do have a favour from the church.
Huh.
Really big one.
So it's still funny that we have a favour from the church.
No.
Favour from the church, Leah. My mother would shit herself, wouldn't she?
Oh, she would at that. Well, come here. And she goes first to Scamp, gives you a hug, kneels down next to Corzin. You look after them.
I'll do my best.
Gives you a hug as well, then stands up.
He's our designated grown-up.
Yeah. The smallest one of us is the most grown up.
She takes you by the shoulders, Celestia, and leans in and gives you a small kiss on the cheek. Look after the rest of them as well. Come back.
Look after yourself.
Yeah.
Stay
do.
amazing.
Stay Celestia. Stardust.
I miss you horribly.
Yeah, me too. Go save the country. And
Oh,
then,
fuck.
we'll work our way up to the future.
It all sounds pretty terrifying, darling.
Oh, one bite at a time.
Absolutely.
Alright, I can't think of anything else to say.
One moment. She reaches into her pocket. You've already previously and takes out since you've been prestidigitationing it, the little cauliflower blue handkerchief is actually quite clean. Folds it up and sticks it in one of your pockets. Bring that back to me.
I will. It's on loan.
She gives you a nod and a smile. Alright, bugger off a lot of you. I'm going to go do what I can here.
Be fucking careful.
You too. Love you all.
Love you too. Bye.
And we'll see you again soon.
She gives you a nod and sort of folds her arms, leaning against the wall and watches as you leave.
Give her an awkward wave.
She gives you an awkward wave back.
Oh, right. Well, before I start crying, we should go and do country-changing things, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Let's go find Philippe.
Yep.
Alright. You head out and make your way down the street south towards where most of the gunfire is happening. And eventually watch as troops of soldiers are just sort of cordoning off, going around sections of the street and the main street and the adjoining streets, and just firing on the hordes of zombies that are there until they eventually either push them back or kill enough of them to clear out a street. They begin moving heavy pieces, just barricades made of furniture, and using them to block off the streets and keep these clear passageways. Standing in the centre, coordinating all of this and barking off orders, you see the familiar form of Philippe Laurent. There is at one point where one of the barricades crumbles a little and a horde threatens to come out, and he mutters a few words, slashes one hand, and just a curtain of flames pops up between the buildings and just incinerates a number of the zombies. Once the horde he watches for a few moments until the horde begins stumbling away, waits until it's gone, then closes his hand. The wall disintegrates, and he shouts orders. All right, I want you to get those barricades back up. I need groups with sand putting out those fires. We don't want to start a fire here. Come on, come on, come on! Turns round.
Nicely done.
Corzin?
Hello.
Celestia? Scamp?
Philippe.
Didn't hear about your ship coming through.
No, we came in another way.
Ah.
Do you have a minute, or do you have a point today where you do have a minute?
Looks around. I can spare you a minute now.
Okay.
Seems like the crews have it for the moment.
All right.
Do you promise not to put us in prison before we start? Because we really can't afford to be in prison.
We also wouldn't stay there.
No.
He raises an eyebrow at that. Puts his fingers on the bridge of his nose. Let's say that I will keep an open mind for the moment. And if it's something I would throw you in prison for, as long as you haven't done anything yet.
We haven't.
Then it goes no further than here.
We are, broadly speaking, attempting to bring the wider conflict to a resolution.
He folds his arms. I see.
We've been trusted to negotiate a treaty.
A treaty?
We need to get to Vendion. It would be a peaceful treaty. We want as few people hurt as possible. But
yes, this has already gone on far too long enough.
Yeah, quite right. But obviously going to Vendion involves crossing the front.
We'd have to cross the front lines.
So you want my assistance getting through?
If possible, yes, but information alone would be useful to us.
Yeah, and if there's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can do. We just thought it was worth asking.
Yeah.
We hope that you don't report us to anyone because we're really not trying to hurt anybody. We're actually trying.
As far as your superiors are concerned, they don't need to know we were even here.
Roll a persuasion check. I will give you advantage because the others have been meaningfully helping.
Can I roll it?
Yes,
Thank
you've been
you.
leading this.
Yeah, go
My
on.
modifier's really good these days. Well, that's really bad rolls, but luckily, plus 13 these days. So, 22.
Thinks for a moment. Gonna roll an insight check from him.
Hell, even if you just don't tell anyone we were here, if you don't have any assistance you can offer, that would be enough at this point.
I'm aware you are skilled with words. Corzin, I would like your word that you and your companion are telling the truth in what you say, please.
You have it.
Okay. I'll take you as that. If you have been authorized to negotiate a treaty, and you do not intend anything else, then the worst that happens is you are turned away. But you will need to get to Devondion. Alright. I have not been receiving up-to-date reports, but I am sent some dispatches. Last I heard, the fighting was ongoing at south of Terrorsville on the bridge of the River Tretch.
Ah, yes.
But that information is over a week old.
Right.
If the fighting is still there, you will need to then simply go crossing over to the south bank, which we are already on, and making your way around to Vendion will mean you will not need to cross the front there. However, if it has passed beyond, then the front will most likely have pulled back to a defensible point. I would expect either a line between the Tretch and the Vond, crossing most likely, one moment, he draws a map, produces a map, and drawing from the map, he traces a rough line going from, right, you see where it says R Tretch on the map, if you have that in front of you, south of Terrorsville, from basically just south of that R, down towards the point where the River Vond curves around near the E on Vendian, the last E, I should say. So a more or less straight line. That would be the most likely place to establish a front, and they would try and hold that for as long as they could, assuming they were not pushed all the way back towards Vendion itself.
So in between those two rivers.
Is most likely where the front would be.
And you wouldn't be able to see a river from there.
Not if you are towards the center of the front, no.
Okay, that makes sense.
I would say the fighting will be thickest along the roads going directly from Terrorsville to Vendion, because they have the easiest means of transporting artillery and
don't
cavalry.
use the roads.
So the roads would be the main points of conflict, but it's quite a wide area, so you can expect things will be spread out.
So there might be gaps.
There will be. They will have cavalry patrolling the points in the fronts between, trying to identify where the main bodies of soldiers are. Usually there will be 2 or 3 points where a large push. One side will attempt a large push, and the other side will move soldiers to counteract it.
Right.
If you can slip through one of the points, which does not have one of the main push points, you may be able to get by making your way past the cavalry patrols. Both sides are likely to be having them. A word of warning. Whilst they will be keeping a number of them towards the main points, there is always a chance that a cavalry patrol will have a military mage attached as a way of allowing them to maintain sendings and other forms of quick communication.
Someone similar to you.
Usually a rank below me, so slightly less. Someone with less experience.
Slightly less walls of fire. Yeah.
Indeed, but they will
That's
all
very
be.
impressive, by the way.
Yeah, it was cool.
Thank you. Something I learned in the field. But no, they will at the very least be capable of things like sending and the classic fireballs if need be, although that's less of a useful spell in the open field. More for city work. Yes, for those, keep an eye out. There may well be diviners in underway as well. There's not much I can recommend for those. Just try to keep moving, unless you have somewhere like a sanctum that you can go to deliberately avoid being scried on. Otherwise, Regent, forgive me. Head to my camp. On the southwest side, don't bother talking. Just tell the quartermaster that there's a uniform requisition.
Thank you. Much obliged to you.
Really helpful.
And make sure this never gets back to my superiors.
We won't tell anyone.
Appreciated.
That is the absolute most I can do, and I'm probably already committing treason, so...
No, we
You may
appreciate
well
it.
have
Fine.
helped finish
I hope
this.
you are able to find your peace. For all of Soon's sake.
Yeah.
With any luck, we're bringing this to an end a lot sooner than it otherwise would be.
Please do not betray my trust.
Thank you.
We shall not.
We took a risk talking to you,
He knows.
and it's appreciated that you haven't just thrown us in a prison cell.
Well, it does help that I'm not sure I could keep you on one. And
Be careful, won't you? It's dangerous at the moment.
everywhere and for everyone.
A thought occurs to me. This city is a good example of hopefully what the rest of Seoul might be capable of if it puts aside its differences.
Yeah.
None of you guys could have got anywhere near what you're doing at the moment if you hadn't all worked together.
That I will grant you. Well, you have a number of days ride ahead. Do you need horses, or have you got your own?
We're okay.
No.
We can make our own.
He looks over to Scamp. Interesting. Very well.
I am a normal child.
I stand on
He
Corzin's
cracks
foot
a
again.
laugh at that. All right. Well, fair roads, and may the Regent be with you.
Ditto.
Regent, speed you now.
May Dionysus be with you, my darling. Right, what are we doing?
Raises an eyebrow and just lets it
Let's-
pass.
Let's go to the quartermaster.
Okay. You head down, and there's a raised eyebrow from the quartermistress, but she does provide you with 3-sized uniforms. The one for Scamp is a little ill-fitting. You kind of look at it, and it's quite baggy. You think it was actually dwarf issue.
Ha.
As we walk away, I say, I wonder if we could get a hold of any uniforms for the other side. It would be useful to have both.
I suppose, but
I mean,
once
that
we're
might be
behind the
mental, I don't
lines,
know where we'd get them, but
We've got papers for the other side. We've got papers for both sides.
Ooh, we do have papers for both sides. We're basically spies.
Yeah.
I think by this point you're fairly explicitly spies.
We're spies. Are we spies?
We're away from everyone now. There's no one.
Yeah. You guys.
Oh, I'm
assuming
saying
that
we're out of earshot.
you guys are solidly out of earshot while Scamp is summoning the first horse.
I know we said we weren't going to, but we need to definitely not do the assassinating thing.
Oh yeah, I don't want to do that.
We've promised Philippe
Yeah.
we're not going to do any harm. We're there to negotiate.
I don't want to anyway.
I don't want to. It's not how you start off a new
It's
country.
not how you start off peace. You don't kill people for peace.
Well, we've done it before.
There are better options here.
I don't want to do it again.
We've only done it when we've had to.
Even
Yes.
then it felt wrong. We killed that general. He was an arse, but...
I feel no remorse about killing Olga, I confess.
Oh, no, that was fine.
Fuck her.
But we assassinated a general to promote someone we thought would be better.
Blah. Sorry, I can still smell melting face when I think
Blah.
about it. It's not good.
But it was not a good... It wasn't necessarily a good or the right thing to do. It was something we rushed into and we did. And it's worked out all right.
I think we're going in with a plan. If it doesn't work, we leave.
Yeah.
What do you two think? Corzin?
If the negotiations entirely break down, we're probably going to have bigger problems ourselves.
We send to Savant and see what he says.
Because I can tell you for a fact, if the negotiations entirely break down, there is nothing to stop them trying to apprehend us, throw us in jail, and use us as hostages.
Yep.
Yeah, but if I can find 10 gold more of gem dust...
I
Maybe
mean,
we
you
should
know
try
and
and
I
do
know
that
that
before
isn't
we
going
leave
to
the
work
city.
very long, but
Yeah. Let's not give them the chance.
let's not go in with that plan.
Oh no, definitely not. But what I'm saying is maybe we should try and find some more gems before we leave the city in case we do get thrown into prison.
Just so
Wouldn't
it's an
hurt.
option. We could see if anyone around's got 10 gold of gem they'd sell us.
Yeah. Won't hurt.
Alright, if you're willing to spend an hour on this, roll me an investigation check, please.
I just think it's worth it. Because
Yeah.
there is
Yeah,
a very
I
high
will
odds of us
assist
being
so
thrown
that,
in prison.
Celestia
Who's
can.
rolling this?
Do you want me to roll it with advantage? Because I'm the best at investigation.
And I don't think I should be the one asking people.
Yeah, fair. It was like posh drow.
Yeah.
20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Alright, so you take a bit of time and you actually make your way. Asking around, it seems like most of the scavenging is actually happening up in Gulltown. And you talk around, and there we go. You actually end up talking to, finding a familiar-looking, slightly suspicious-eyed halfling. Who Corzin previously bought a healing potion off.
Hello. We're looking for some gems. Don't happen to have any, do you? It's 10 gold in it.
Gives you a bit of a gimlet-eyed look.
It's
And
alright, I'm not
scrummages
here
around.
to do anything terrible.
I mean, if you've got more gems than that, that would be nice.
Yeah, if
but-
you've got more, we're willing to pay more.
Rubs his throat a little bit. Looks like he's... You can see where he's still got a bit of a healing injury from that fight that they had, and his voice is kind of sore.
Ding, healing word. Better?
A little, yes. Looks up and down. Have you got, scrummages around. Don't suppose you have food or anything you would try it instead?
Let me have a look.
I've got a bowl of chocolate.
I mean, you could just have
Shakes
that,
his
A
head.
really.
bowl of alcohol. What's your favourite alcohol?
You see up and down. Chateau. I mean, if you want to go for anything, sure, why not? Chateau Breeze 49.
That thing.
You produce you turn around for a moment and produce the bowl filled with a deep red claret. Sniffs it. Takes a grubby spoon out of his pocket, cleans it out. Takes a spoon of it, sips it. Well, there is it. Scrummages around and finds an empty wine bottle and a cork. Then a funnel.
I've got cram if you're desperate.
No one's that desperate.
Well,
we
I
are
said
that.
if you're desperate.
We are that desperate, but
Do you want some?
decants the wine in first, stoppers it.
I mean, we've got rations, but we need them for the road, so I'm kind of worried, you know.
I'll take this and the cram. And
I give him... I've got 10, I give him 5.
he gets out a couple of rough-looking pieces. A couple of pieces of amber. They're small. They look like they've been pried from something at some point. But they would make up about enough of the remaining 10 gold pieces worth if you crush them down.
Also like to give him 10 gold.
I was gonna do it. I'll do it.
Okay, you do it.
I've got money.
You give him just 10 gold pieces.
Yes.
Squints for a moment, reaches into his sack, produces another couple of pieces of amber, so you get another 10 gold worth of gemstone.
I give him 10 more gold.
Reaches in, scrummages around. One last 10 gold piece of amber. This is the last I've got.
I'm trying to give you more money, but okay.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, I will take it.
Takes the last gold pieces and pockets
Give
them away.
another 10 gold. But now I have 30.
I mean, he's now like set up when the city's back to normal.
Oh yeah. This is all going on food, but once they find someone who's willing to sell it, but he's got a hearty amount of money right now.
It's a good thing we ran out of amber shards. We were getting stuck in a loop there.
Yeah. But that's like 3 teleports on the bright side.
No, it's 50 gold a time. I had 40
Teleportation is expensive.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So
It's not bad though.
50 gold to travel 300
50 gold
miles.
pop. Like, we're not
Yeah.
going to do it that often. Spend a lot of time in Kion in the upcoming months. Hello, we're back. How? You were here a day ago.
Why are you in this house again?
It's our favourite place.
Scamp. Roll me. No, this isn't the time for it. Another time.
You're
You're the worst. You're awful.
It's alright, it's
You
related to
tease.
teleportation stuff.
I hate you.
Oh my
That's
god.
That's awful.
That's
Will be
the
another time.
worst.
The conditions aren't right. So, you having to acquired a number more shards of amber, enough to get a second teleportation circle in, should you need to. Sorry. You
Are you okay?
presumably head out and get ready to ride.
Yeah.
Unless
Well,
there's anything else you
we've
wish
got to
to
do
do.
some sendings. Should
Ah,
we do
yes.
them now, or should we do
Let's do
them
them at
later?
bedtime.
Bedtime. Okay.
Okay. You whip up some horses.
gonna make some normalish horses. They look sad because they're boring.
Right, so you know like,
I like these ones
bloodhounds? The way that they droop? It's like that on a horse.
Celestia look like it's round the back of a horse and goes, "This one looks normal. I like it better." Oh fuck! She walks around the front. What the fuck have you made?
Like,
I was trying to be boring and normal, and it's
This is
sad.
the worst thing I've ever seen.
like,
And I just saw a hag burn.
you've never seen a horse with bags under its eyes like
This
this.
horse looks how I feel. I like it better than the other ones, actually. It looks tired. I identify with it.
Okay.
I'm going to call this one Tired. It's just called Tired. That's all it is.
You got on board. You saddle up on Tired. What's the what do you call the second horse for the day?
sad.
Tired and sad. One brown,
I only
one
need
grey.
2. Oh, that's really sad in itself.
And with lightning speed, you begin your frantic journey. You briefly stop during the middle of your journey to have some lunch from your travel rations. Still just not doing anything for your rumbling tummy, Celestia. And that cramp in your wrist is still there.
Wow.
Let's
Kind of pinwheeling my wrists.
And as you make your but nevertheless you make your way on traveling through the day. You pick up a fair amount of pace during the course. Well, more than a fair amount of pace. There is a perpetual sort of wait for 20 minutes, for 40 minutes. Stop-start pace for about 8 hours of travel.
Scamp's knackered. Fucking hell.
Okay.
He's doing a face. I hate it when he
I
does a
want
face.
to check in with friend at some point, just while we're riding. Just go, friend, are you all right?
Yes. While you're busy scribing the circle, sketching the horses at one point. Yes.
The circle thing freaked you out a bit, didn't it?
I don't remember that ever happening.
What?
That.
The circle?
Yes.
Like, it's never happened before. You don't remember?
I don't remember that happening. It doesn't feel familiar to me. Sometimes things happen and they feel familiar, like I should remember them. But I don't remember that.
Well, that can't be that unusual. Like, we do weird stuff all the time.
Scamp, most of the weird stuff we do feels familiar to me.
Okay.
Not the jumping between places. That feels new as well.
Well, this is just that on a bigger scale, so maybe that's why you feel weird.
Maybe.
I've been able to do that for ages. Like, even before I met you, I learned how to do it a little bit.
Neither of the others remember it either.
Oh. Are you talking to them?
I can get a feel through you for them.
Are they alright?
Well, one's just asleep most of the time.
Well, that's fair.
The other one, she's irritable but subdued.
Is there anything I can do to make her happier?
I feel like if you wanted to, you could. She's a bit more together in some ways. I think she remembers some of what it was to be more to gather form around her. If you let her, she could probably do something like that again for a time.
But she was doing bad stuff.
Yes.
And we don't want to do bad stuff.
No.
But I don't want to keep her like a prisoner or something. That's weird. It's not good.
We are what we are.
Can you be freed?
Free is a complex term here. We, all of us, need something to live in order to stay us.
The skulls?
They do. They let me stay me. Jeffrey's a way of doing it, although I don't infringe on him the way that she infringed on that cat.
No, that wasn't nice. That was
But that's something that can happen.
evil. That's what that is.
I suppose so. We can, if the circumstances are right, we can borrow a body,
Ooh.
or we can have one. I think we can have one made for us. I think she remembers how to do that.
Oh.
But it doesn't last the way that a real one does. It's a temporary thing. It stays for a time, for as long as someone with a form can maintain it. As long as you can keep it together.
Ooh.
But it's not the same as a real one.
Would you want one? Should I look into that? Is there a way to learn that from her without letting her do bad things?
Roll an insight check.
Oh no.
I'm going to tides this. This feels important. Proficiency has gone up. So this is different now. That's a dirty 20.
You feel it's subdued, but there is just a surge of wanting and yearning from friend, which is carefully clamped down. One day, when the time is right,
Okay.
but the time isn't right,
You wouldn't do anything bad with it, would you?
I think when the time is right, we will do what we judge to be right.
Oh, that's not the same thing.
And I think you will have the largest voice in that judging.
Okay.
But we're not there yet. We're not together yet. In time, though, my friend. In time. We will be again. Scamp, does any of it feel familiar to you? Any of it feel like you've done it before?
It has, hasn't it, in the past?
Only very slightly.
Yeah.
Sometimes. There's things that I know that I don't know how I know them. Like the language.
Right, but the language and some of the way to do these things, but nothing else that you can remember.
Well, I'm not very old, am I? It's not a great deal to remember.
No, I suppose not.
I get weird dreams sometimes.
You do?
Yeah. They're in my notes somewhere. So many notes.
You sort of rack your mind thinking back to these early dreams.
So much nonsense.
Who was Gerald? Or whatever it was.
Oh, who was that?
Just had a face with Gerald written in the notes.
Something like that.
Oh jeez, there's so many notes, but I think they're all the wrong ones.
Is that even the old notebook?
This is the old notebook, but there is an older. There is an older
I
notebook.
remember the one with the 7 shards of mirror, if that helps.
Oh, I don't.
That's when we were trying to reassemble a mirror, I swear.
That's right, isn't it? The one.
Yeah, that was one of them.
I don't remember any other ones, but I remember that one.
There was a Yeah, there was 7 shards of a mirror.
How many?
7. Oh, fire, black glass, and something breaking. I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a mirror. I was trying to fix it and it wouldn't fix.
No. No, you'll need all of it.
Oh, there it is. Dream of a mirror shattered in 7 pieces. Well, aren't you useful and late?
Okay.
Are you one of those shards? Is that what these are? Are there 7 of you?
If that's what you dreamed, then maybe. I remember some things. I don't remember everything.
Is there a way we can help you remember?
I think we need to find the others.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. I'll try.
Okay.
I don't think I can connect with you all at once, though.
We'll work it out.
Okay.
As you're scribing, Corzin, Scamp has been having a quiet conversation with themselves. But with your passive perception, you glance up and you notice an eagle far above. It takes a moment for you to recognise, it's further up than you think. Because that's not just an ordinary eagle. And you spot the 2 little riders on its back.
Oh.
As the eagle just pans through the sky, just on the wing, doing a slow circle before heading eventually back southwest towards Vondion.
Scouts.
Huh?
I point up to the eagle in the sky.
Oh,
Remember
bollocks.
those?
Oh.
We've been seeing, haven't we?
Right.
Are we in the Sulian uniforms?
Unless you've said you are,
I didn't
I
think we
assume
were.
you're
Not
still
to go
in-
across the
No,
countryside,
you're
not
still-
before we get to the
you're
front.
just wearing your
Yeah, 'cause
usual
we're on-
clothing.
We've still got to get through our side.
Yeah.
before-
Yeah.
Right now, you are
Right,
3
okay.
people with one still incorporated horse before it shortly crumbles to dust to create another one, just sitting next to a pink-skinned tiefling child sketching on the ground.
Okay.
Well, they won't mean much to most of them, but if your brother hears about it...
Yep. I mean, if he's even going by his name and actively looking. Although, I suppose if he hears it through the grapevine.
We don't know what he wants or what
I
he's
don't know what he
doing,
wants.
that's the problem.
I want to scrowl on him again today, at some point.
How long will it take for those riders to get back?
Can I make a guess as to how long?
You can.
I don't think I can, because that's
no.
surface stuff.
That's
I've no idea.
give me
Birds are weird.
an intelligence check, Corzin.
Birds are weird.
Okay. Intelligence.
And that's just not the sort of tactics that we use. Like, I have army training, but not birds.
That's a 9.
Okay. So you have a vague guess. You recall vaguely that a giant eagle can stay airborne without stopping for a rest for about 4 hours, bearing a load, bearing a pair of riders. If they're doing a loop, you can't remember exactly how many miles a giant eagle can fly in an hour, but they must be, if they've done a loop, they must be at most 2 hours as the eagles fly away, is wherever their base is. Because eagles do need to land and take a bit of time to just rest and eat before they can do another flight.
Alright, wherever that came from, it can't be more than 2 hours away.
Okay, good to know.
Is it worth scrying on them when they report? There's no way of knowing the exact time, though.
No.
It might be a written report. Oh, boring.
It might be. I could read it over their shoulder if it is, but...
If it's in a language, you know.
Or not in code.
Yeah.
Might be in code.
Oh.
Corzin, roll a history check.
Okay.
For military procedure.
History. Oh, that's a 3. Nope.
You have not spent any time talking with people from the Air Force.
Yeah, this is
you
land
You
stuff.
don't know how... Yeah, the Navy, absolutely down on it. Air Force, no idea.
Yeah.
Eagle Riders are crazy even by halfling standards.
Well, they kind of have to be.
I mean, is it worth trying to look at them reporting? I could do.
I don't know.
Scared I'll swap consciousness with a person again.
That's only if you do future and past, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rethink.
But if I'm looking at them reporting, that'll have to be future.
Yeah, unless you
rather
would
than just waiting
scry on
and
them
hoping.
right at the very moment that, yeah.
Well, waiting and hoping, that's just going to waste a charge. We have no idea when they'll get back.
That's what I was hoping we could work out, like, flight times. But
If you want to make
Don't
it...
think we can.
that's
Right.
a risk.
I don't want to waste a charge. I only get 3 a
No.
day.
So Corzin's the only one really with the military expertise to have an idea about giant
I
eagle
don't have
flight
the right
times.
military expertise
So
at all.
Yeah.
Oh, you could scry on your brother next time he receives information about your whereabouts.
That's true.
That's a really clever idea. Yes. It is very clever. It's
Now,
clever. It
We're
is.
on Tangents of 13.
Actually, that's really useful because if that's in the future, then we can do stuff to alter that, potentially.
Maybe.
And we,
Or at least we'll know if we can't.
we'll know if it's far future, because if they go, oh yes, they're in the city, we'll go, well, that's not now.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, worth doing.
I mean, hopefully we'll have confused them a little bit if they did know where we were by fucking teleporting 300 miles. But,
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard of anyone who's ever done anything
Well,
like
they
that.
must have done, otherwise why are the circles there?
That's a fair point, but it's
maybe
not
it's not
something...
it's not a remembered history.
Friend doesn't remember it.
Is that weird? Does Friend usually remember stuff?
How long
Yeah.
has Friend been around?
I'm not sure Friend knows. Do you know?
I know I'm old, but I don't know how old.
Old.
Oh.
That's
All
not-
right.
Yeah.
Like elf old?
Don't know.
Huh.
But
Roll an intelligence check on Friend's behalf. Use your own modifier.
ooh, because it's so good. This is 7. I'm super smart.
I remember a temple with spires of red glass burning at the hands of those who fought in the regent's name.
So there was a temple made of glass and it burned.
Okay. Any like time signatures on that?
Regent's people did it, so
So post Regency.
Sometime within the last...
the beginning of the Regency.
When was that?
1790
Nearly 1800 years.
years ago.
Yeah.
Celestia says that and then goes, oh right, no, because the
calendar.
year.
Yeah.
Exactly 1,798 years ago, I'd imagine.
Yeah, probably. But it could have
Okay,
been
like
more recently.
like older than elf.
Or it could be like 20 years ago.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. Friend?
Yes.
So I found you, and we found the other two, but I've got this empty one. Is that one of the 7, or is that a different thing?
You've never got that out before.
Hello! This
You
is
always had that.
Yes!
Oh.
You've never mentioned it. Ever.
I've had it always. It's just a metal thing, like the 3 other things we've found.
Nope, that's getting scary. You had one before you had friend.
Well, yeah, that's why friend was interesting. Did I not say I
No.
could have sworn I had? I'm sorry.
No.
You're worse than
that's
me,
the first
fucking
time
hell.
I've seen one of those.
Yeah, it just is. I mean, it doesn't do anything. It's just a bit of metal.
Where did you get that one?
Oh.
I do not buy that that's just a bit of metal.
You don't remember?
I don't remember a lot of things.
I'm not, I'm not being accusing here, but it's... If we're to try and figure out exactly what friend and these other entities you seem to be collecting are, then it makes sense to try and figure out where that one came from.
I'd completely forgotten about it till right now.
Can you ask friend if a detect thoughts spell would work on this kind of thing?
Would it?
How do they mean?
Like, good. How do you mean? Like, to see if there's a mind in there, or to see what?
I mean, I can see if there is a mind, and I can also see what's in it.
Would that work?
With the way these work, yes, it might.
Is there anything in this one? Is it one of them, or is it just
That one feels empty to me.
But is it one of the 7 still?
I don't know.
Me neither. Oh, where did it go? What's in
Where did
its
what
knee?
go?
Is that possible?
Oh, I was really hoping you wouldn't get there because I already had. Maybe.
Is that possible?
I don't know.
Oh.
I mean, I doubt it. You can't have been in a metal skull thingy, can you?
Well, that other one was in a cat.
Yeah, but it made the cat all weird. You're not all weird.
I'm pretty weird.
Yeah, but you're
Not in that
person.
way, though.
You're not all, funny.
If there was another... When they take over they took over the cat, was the cat completely gone? Could you still feel it was there?
That is a question to ask her.
I don't want to.
You don't want to do what?
Ask her the thing I just asked.
Who's her?
The one who had the cat. This one. In this...
Oh. Lux? Was it?
Yeah.
Offers open for a detect thoughts spell.
I mean,
See if I can see
just
anything.
see how many lines there are?
Yeah, I suppose
Yeah, would that
so.
work?
Don't look any further yet. It feels icky.
Up to you.
Can you just see how many people are here right now?
Yeah. I mean, I've never done it with just, us lot. I've always just done it to people we don't like, so I've never really checked. But yeah, sure, I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay, you cast it. At first, Scamp takes out the 4 little skulls. There is
I put
nothing
my hand to my
from
temple
them.
as ever.
And then, Scamp, you hear friend go, "One moment." And there's a brief moment where Celestia and Corzin, you see a silvery-looking figure with a skull for a head appear,
Oh, hello.
pass their hand over the skulls, and then vanish back into one of them. And now, 3 of them. When you when your mind sense goes out, it's a little bit like feeling little burning lights of varying intensities. There are 3 strong lanterns for you, 1 little guttering flame for
Which is friend.
for Jeffrey,
Oh.
which is barely shows up, and
Is
really
he that
shouldn't
monkey?
show up at all, honestly.
No, I don't usually see animals.
Yeah. So it's the very faintest little for Jeffrey.
Why can I see Jeffrey?
And
Jeffrey's very smart.
Apparently fucking so.
there are... It's strange. It's like it's as if you took a roaring bonfire and pressed it down to the size of a marble in 3 of the skulls. But one is just a little metal skull.
Yeah, that one's empty.
Is it just me in my head? Is there anyone else here?
You
Are
don't
you okay
detect...
with me having a look?
Yes.
I have a look.
You're going for a deep dive?
Not a deep one. I just
Okay,
go.
you just
I
hear-
just go in their head and have a
Okay,
look around.
Yeah, so this is Scamp's thoughts.
Stop screaming! You're not making this easier.
Okay, so you're going for a deep dive or to look around?
I mean, do you want me to really look? Because I can.
Yeah, check I'm not stolen someone else's body.
Okay, this might hurt a bit. I don't think it usually feels good. Tell me if it's too
Sorry.
much and I'll come out, alright?
Corzin is going to take Scamp's hand.
Thank you.
Yeah, if it's too much, you just say, okay?
Yep.
Alright, I properly go in.
Okay. So we'll say you've had about 3 rounds of discussing and so on. So you've got 7 rounds of this left. What are you trying to hunt for?
I'm trying to hunt for... Oh god, we could really go somewhere with this, couldn't we? I'm scared. The first thing I hunt for is, has anyone else ever been here?
Ever been in here? Okay. You look around trying to see if there are any hints of another party or figure being in Scamp's mind. Just trying to think if in the course of this podcast you've ever been mind controlled or anything. I don't think you have.
I think you've been charmed, but not actually.
Been charmed, but not. Yeah. So peering through.
I ran into a pit of spikes, but that was.
Yeah, you get a memory of of staring at one of those glyphs and wandering into a pit of spikes. But apart from that, so it's sort of pulled you back to the temple for a moment from Scamp's perspective, but nothing really beyond that is jumping out at you.
Okay, I can't find anyone else that's ever been here.
So you are 1 layer in.
I could look for where you came from.
Can you find anything about this empty skull?
I'll look for when you found it. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Alright, again, if it's too much, you let me know, I'll come out, okay?
Okay.
I'm not going to look at anything you don't want me to.
Scamp is not actively resisting you. So, you push deeper. You scatter around between these bubbles of memory. The next one to come up, round 5, is just a memory of a very young Scamp. Maybe 6 years old. Sitting, they've managed to pile some wood together into what looks like an old abandoned chimney fireplace in a ruined looking building. You can see there's a couple of kids of street kids nearby. One of them is working with what looks like a little bit of a tinderbox that they got from somewhere to start a fire. They're all clustered around there is snow outside. It looks like they're trying to keep warm. One of them comes in with some scraps of what look like vegetable peelings or something, and they're kind of scrabbling for them. Scamp has the little silver skull already at this point. They're kind of gripped in their little hand, and you see them shove it into a little pocket. Even orphan rags have pockets. And go for the food. This feels like maybe the one of the earliest points that Scamp can easily remember having it, but this isn't them getting it. You can feel a thread. You can feel threads that maybe go deeper.
Okay, I found a memory of it. It's not you getting it. I can follow it to where you got it. I can feel it. Are you okay with that?
Friend, do you think it'll help? Do you think we should?
I think this may push you to uncomfortable places from what you've said about your past. But maybe.
I'm scared.
I know.
It's okay.
We're here for you.
Do it.
Alright.
You
I follow it.
push inwards. Pressing deeper.
Does Scamp see everything I'm seeing? How does this work?
No. Scamp, you get some flashes here and there as this is happening. You're aware that there's this presence in your mind. And as it's happening, you get just these little flashes of the memory here and there. It's not quite isn't as much clarity, although you can focus in and try and get them a bit more, but there is discomfort that comes with these as well. Alright, as you push deeper, you begin to encounter resistance. It's not an active resistance, though. It's just things that are buried deep. So, as this happens, I am going to require you to make some checks.
Cool.
Because this is stuff that Scamp on some level may not wish to remember, or may have difficulty remembering. So I believe this is an opposed intelligence check.
What was Scamp?
Yes.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
Oh.
And that's an 11.
That's a full-on nat 20. Yeah, you're not getting past that.
You feel very uncomfortable. There's some parts of this that feel uncomfortable, Scamp, and you get flashes as you follow this thread.
I kind of say stuff to them like,
Deeper.
just me, it's alright.
Deeper in.
Nothing terrible's happening, I'm here.
There is definitely a sense of invasiveness in your mind, and you start to feel cold and hungry, and just flashes of sense, memory, smells, sensations. We're on round 6. As you push deeper, you go earlier, to a place of cold, of scrabbling, just flashes of scrabbling through the streets, of being led around by older street children, of fights, of being at times shoved into gutters or left or abandoned, other times moving between different gangs, cold, huddling in doorways, never having enough to eat. And it pushes back and back and back until Scamp is smaller and smaller and barely able to crawl. Memories of older kids whose faces they can't really remember. There are flashes, Scamp, for you of faces that you've forgotten, of older children. Not the same old children as in some of the later memories. They came, they went. Some grew older, some vanished. And then there's a memory of the first, of being held by a human girl, maybe 14 years old, with blue eyes and brown hair, in rags. She is holding you wrapped up in what looks to be rags, possibly a skirt or something that's been folded into swaddling clothes. You are cold and wet, and shivering, and you can feel that cold and wet around you now. And she reaches down and just sort of strokes your head and your little tiny nubby horns at this stage. It's like, hey, it's okay. It's alright. I've got you, little one. Huh. What's that you have there? And she reaches and gently pries aside your weak, unresisting fingers, and there is a little silver skull gripped in them. There are deeper places you can go, but you can feel that there is stiff resistance leading further back.
Scamp, do you want me to keep going?
No.
Okay, I'm coming out. I'll let go.
You return.
How much of that did you see?
Bits.
You were a baby in the last one.
Which means I was the baby he killed. Or thought he did. That would be the next thing you saw.
Yeah.
I didn't want to feel that again.
No, I think that's fair.
Did you feel all that? Was it just me feeling it?
No, I think, yeah, I felt all of it.
I don't want to feel dying.
No. I don't think that would achieve anything. God, things were shit for you, weren't they?
Things have been shit for everyone. Things are better now.
Yes, they are. But all the same, come here. And Corzin gives them a hug.
But it might be that I'm what's in the skull. We don't know that that's not the case. There was something in there once, it's not there now. This body died.
It could be how you lived. What if it held you for a while?
That would be more my guess.
Maybe. I don't know.
If
But
this is not a pushing thing at all. Not even slightly. But I want you to know that if you do ever want to know, I'll look for you. I also won't ever do it if you don't want me to, though.
Scared.
I know, that's fair.
I don't want to be murdered again. I don't want to feel that again. I blocked it out.
I think that's probably sensible. There are certain things you shouldn't remember.
I wonder who she was and where she went.
She seems nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corzin, if you don't mind me vaguely bringing them up to speed, it was someone who was looking after them when they were a baby. Seemed like a nice girl. Maybe 14.
But there was another... Not here, he said, the glutton said there was another child that ran away.
Huh.
So I have potentially a living sibling.
Oh no.
What?
Oh, I've thought this and now I have to say it out loud.
Yeah, you do.
I've got an eye of the storm.
I don't want to see them.
Okay.
Not yet.
The offer's there if you ever want it, but again, if you don't, I wouldn't.
I'm a coward. I'm scared. And I don't want to.
That's okay. Some things are okay to be scared of.
It won't help right now. I don't think.
I'm sorry. I didn't Didn't mean to make you feel all of it again.
It's nice to know it's there in a way, because everything's blank before a certain point. So it's nice to see it exists. Still, I don't know when it bloody was. I'd like to know my age one day.
Shame I can't check that. That'd be a nice easy thing, wouldn't it?
Oh,
If we could just get a number.
It's so nearly changed though. You know we were old 60-30 and 30-60 earlier. 36 is what you roll to go up or down in age.
God, that like haunts me every day. I think about it most
I
days.
checked it out of curiosity to see what 36 would have been.
Jesus.
Nope. Oh.
And
Wow.
You alright?
Yeah.
You want to have a break for a bit? Find some
No, we
cover?
need to move. We need to move. Let's get somewhere in cover.
I am sorry, I feel like I've pushed too far.
No, I asked.
I don't know, I just feel like there are certain things other people shouldn't be allowed to see.
But I don't get to see them unless you do.
True.
So...
I guess as long as you're okay with it, it's alright. I just felt invasive. I've never done that to a friend. I mean, actually, I've never looked that far in anyone, ever. It was really early stuff. Scary early.
I don't think I'd ever withhold anything from you. Even if it was awful. So I don't mind. Not on purpose anyway. Like, I should have shown you this skull ages ago, but it didn't mean anything for ages, and then things were complicated, and we just met!
Well,
And then I forgot.
It's okay.
given where you've come from, Scamp, I think the fact that you still have the ability to trust anyone is a credit to you. And you have my word that I will never betray that trust.
Yeah, me too.
You guys are the best. But it's not a... It's a need to trust people. It's not a... It means you get hurt a lot. But I was desperate to trust anyone. I still am.
I went the other way. Closed everyone off. You two changed that. And, I mean, before you, Leah.
Quite honestly, also, yeah, you two... I'm a lot less trusting now. But it's because I have people I actually trust. And who haven't broken that. So I'm not desperately looking for it anymore. Because I found it.
Well, I'm very glad about that.
Yeah, me too.
And we should so move before the giant eagles come back.
Yeah, we really should.
alright. You finish the last bits of the chalk. Summon the second horse by this point has actually disintegrated.
Whoops.
So you quickly summon the first horse, begin sketching out. As you finish the second horse, by the way, as you're feeling yourself start to stabilise a little bit, you just get one last surge of emotion. I'm going to ask you to roll a D100.
Oh.
I mean, yeah.
I roll a 36 now, I'm going to be furious. I roll a fucking 37.
Oh my god.
What is 37?
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's different. I remember it being 35 and 36.
What the... Okay.
Oh no.
Roll a D6 for me, please.
Oh no, what is this?
2.
There's just a moment where... Can I ask what you're feeling at the moment?
Nothing right now. Probably a lot later. It's disassociating. Almost.
Yeah, this
It's not feeling
dull
it yet.
numbness just seems to spread and weirdly build. Like you feel almost like you're being... You almost feel hollowed out for a moment. And that hollowness seems to come into existence around you. as two wispy, dark voids seem to just billow like smoke next to you.
What the fuck is
Scamp,
happening?
what is that?
And two entities. They look not quite like jellyfish floating in the air. They have long, sharpened, curved beaks where their heads should be. Yeah, it's not quite what it says in the table. And long, trailing, black, winding, smoke-like limbs emerge. The pair of them... Scamp, you are barely aware of this. You're kind of just two in the moment. The pair of them seem to lower their head beaks. And they they just remain for about a minute. Until you sigh.
Do we see this?
You see this.
Scamp?
What?
Something's happening, my darling.
What are these things?
Oh.
Is this where you go crazy and turn on us? Because I was not expecting this.
They just seem to wait.
I want to try and touch one of them.
You reach out, it's warm, but like putting your hand in warm air, and it gently puts one tendril or curls it around your arm. It just feels like
friend.
warm arm. And the pair of them float gently, caressing your arms and shoulders for a moment, reassuring almost. And after a minute, they fade back into smoke and then away.
What the dick was that?
I think it was like a unicorn, but different.
They had
In
beaks
every
with
way.
faces. They had face beaks.
They were nice, though.
Good.
I mean, yeah, they didn't seem to be hostile, but like.
I feel better now.
Oh, I'm glad you feel better.
Good.
Like, not better, but better.
Maybe that's
Like, the shaking stopped.
Good.
good. Maybe that's your magic reacting to what just happened.
I mean, yeah, that was a lot of shit to bring up.
I'm alright.
Are you sure?
Nope.
Okay. You don't have to be. I wouldn't be.
I mean, it's not that dissimilar to the stuff I remember.
What, those things?
No, well, those were weird. No, that was new. But no, the memories stuff. It was new memories, but not different.
Kid on the street stuff, I guess.
Yeah. We should get moving.
We should.
You finish sketching the last few lines, and the second horse is this. What was it? It was sad and what was the
Tired.
Tired.
Yeah, tired already exists, and with this sad peels himself.
My horse is called Tired unless otherwise stated.
out of the ground
I
and
tried
becomes
to make this
real.
one look happy. It
It's
hasn't worked.
still got the bloodhound eyes, but now it has a grin.
Oh, God.
That's terrifying.
Oh,
Horse grin.
what have you done?
It turns to you.
This is glad.
That's gonna eat me. It's going to... I'm not fucking riding that
It
shit.
champs its teeth.
You can have tired.
Yeah, Tired is my favourite. Come here, Tired.
Tired, like most of the horses, of the constructed horses,
weirdly
next to know,
silent.
is weirdly silent. Just for some reason, this one whinnies. presumably trying to fulfill its function. You saddle up onto the horse-like entities and begin the ride onwards towards the front lines outside of Vendion. And as you make your ride onwards, heading in the same direction that the giant eagle returned to, you will pick up there next time. For now, thank you all very much for playing. Thank you all very much for listening. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s.
Long way to go, well not for me. I'll tear straight through reality. Everything's fine, we'll have a blast. No need to look into the past.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.